With this, we want to inaugurate the events officially.
Dear participants, respected judges, so we want to begin the 3-day-long event of Hall C, which has been tagged under Rendezvous and the Q Factor, which will include literary events, academic events, research events, and the flagship event of this year, the Georgian Shark Tank. So today, we'll begin with the Medibate, followed by the Extempore, the Creative Writing Contest, the Mythology Quiz, and the Anime Quiz. So the first event of the day is the Medibate on the topic whether the working hours of medical residents be reduced or not. So we want to welcome our respected judges, Dr. Garima Sahgal ma'am from the Department of Anatomy. Next, we'd like to invite Dr. Saurav Kashyap sir from the Department of Community Medicine and Public Health. We'd also like to invite our very own teacher in charge, Dr. Jyoti Vajpayee ma'am. Now I'd like to call Shruti to discuss with us the rules.
So let me reiterate the rules. Each speaker is given 2.5 minutes as a Each speaker is given 3 minutes, for which a warning bell will be rung at 2.5 minutes and a final bell will be rung at 3 minutes. These participants will be speaking for the motion and these participants for against the motion. We have assigned contestant numbers so that it remains completely anonymous. And after the final bell, the speaker will be open to rebuttal and it will be open to all the contestants and to the judges as well. No cross-questioning is allowed and no peeping into the paper. Thank you. So our first contestant is Manikya Verma for the motion.
Water, no cry. These were the cries of Dr. Harijit Singh. These words substantially proves the work oppression that the residents face in today's medical culture. Good morning, everyone. I feel elated to present my views in the favor of the motion in presence of all of you. Well, before starting with all the information that I have, I must tell you that in this daunting age of Kali Yuga, anxiety, disorder, and stress are reaching extreme proportions. And with all of this, we must see that medical residents are among the professions which are suffering the most. Indian medical students have a prevalence of depression that is 27.2%, which increases substantially by 10% to that is 28.8% in the PG graduates. This is shameful. We don't know how this 10% increase among the plethora of reasons which include improper work culture, the improper faculty response, and the inadequate patient-doctor relationship. The main factor which is responsible for all of this is the inadequate working hours. It is the single most important culprit other than the individual reasons which a person can have which has resulted into depression and anxiety into the residents. Now this depression, it has far-reaching consequences. Apart from causing individual problems, it not only increases morbidity for a doctor as his profession progresses, but it also causes numerous other problems apart from reduced productivity, efficiency, and increased medical errors. You know, this entire delivery would have been a factoid if I hadn't consulted the residents of our own college. And surprisingly, all of them, especially from the departments of orthopedic surgery, surgery, medicine, and emergency medicine, they accepted that their condition is far better than some of the peripheral colleges. But still, the first and second year of residency is the worst years of their professional life. I must provide you some of the basic points which I distilled out of the conversation I had with them. According to them, whenever they are, they have their shifts which have a duration more than 15 hours or 16 hours or even a 24-hour shift. What it causes? It leads to a decreased productivity efficiency. Now, the stress that exists in our total hierarchy of medical system, it is improperly distributed. The highest being on the GR1s, and what it leads to? It specifically leads to the improper behavior. They become irritated, and it leads to impaired relationship with patients, with their partners, as well as the students that they teach. So in the end, it becomes very important that this is a problem that we as Indian medical graduates are going to face in the future. And its solution is a very complex one which requires administrative as well as voice from the residents as well. So in the end, we can reach at a unanimous conclusion that mental health is far superior than anything. I know that that we have a responsibility towards the patients, but still, the mental health is far superior than anything. Thank you very much.
Question that you mentioned in your content that around 15-hour shifts make the doctors irritated.
Could you be a bit loud? Actually, it is not audible.
Sir, in your content, you have mentioned that 15 hours working shifts makes the doctor irritated. But sir, is it not unveiled in the beginning only that the medical profession demands resilience and tolerance? And is becoming irritated the solution for the problem?
Well, I must tell you that the residents that work in our system, they work a lot, first of all. Secondly, that the time you are mentioning, it is far more than any postgraduate professional works in any other profession. And as you are saying that being a resident or signing into such a career demands such a responsibility. I believe you are saying this now. Okay, that is totally fine, but it still requires management, a proper staffing, which is inadequate in our system. I believe that is the whole point of conducting this debate. It is inadequate, which is causing such mental distress and instances of suicide. It is well evident that they are under stress. And one of the main reasons that have come out of multiple meta-analysis that have been done, I must mention one of them. It was done by the State University of New York. It was a meta-analysis which involved analyzing the depression through the DAS-21 index of multiple countries from India, from China, from Nepal, from Europe, as well as America. And what it concluded that, as I mentioned, that inadequate working hours is the main demand that the residents pose always. So I think that we should have a bit of courtesy and accept this thing. We should work towards this at least. This is what I just wanted to say.
Well, you mentioned that the main cause is the improper working hours. So, according to you, should doctors be made 9 to 5 like all other professions? Because patients shall be coming in 24 hours. Our job demands round the clock work.
Oh, definitely. Yes, I must give you a very beautiful example that happens in some of the aims. I do not know of every of the aims, but they have a schedule which follows three, basically it has been divided into three tiers. There is a morning schedule, there is an evening schedule, and there is a night schedule which goes from 8 to 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., then from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m., and then from 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. As what this does, it divides their work hour well easily on the basis of how the patients are coming into appropriate time, so that the doctor also gets some substantial amount of time for themselves as well. So this is one of the model that we can implement. As you are saying that I don't want the doctor to be a 9 to 5 job, but I do want that each doctor should have enough time for themselves as well, because that is a very important factor that is required for an individual other than professional life.
Anyone from the judges?
Well, first of all, it's a very nicely presented debate. Congratulations for that. I want to say one thing that, since you have mentioned the names of few departments, don't you think it is a little bit unethical that you are shortlisting those departments as if, they are the only departments which are, kind of, I would say, harassing the PG students?
Well, I must say, sir, I also mentioned that they did accept that their condition is far better than other peripheral colleges, but it is our duty to accept that the clinical departments are under stress. It is unequivocally accepted that clinical departments in KGMU have a very great patient load. Well, this is a good opportunity for us as well to learn from so much clinical exposure, isn't it? This is the advantage that we get from getting in such an amazing college. But we must accept that they are under stress. It is unequivocally present.
But then you have just mentioned few departments apart
Yes,
from all the
definitely, sir.
departments.
I talked with the preclinical and the other departments as well, and I mentioned them because I thought that they were the one to most elaborate the point. I didn't thought of giving the names because I don't think that is important. So I thought mentioning departments is a way that we can start giving priority to certain departments, because any policy would require that we prioritize, because the resources are limited. We live in a country where resources are limited. We need urgent measures to strike the problem which has the greatest vote to our problem, isn't it? And therefore, I think mentioning the departments gives us a hint that we first attend to their problems, sir, before going to the other departments. This was all I meant.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So very well presented from your side. I have just pointed out one thing, कि some duty hours are explained in KGMU itself, like casualty duties and EMO duties, they are defined. Duty hours are well defined, but still the residents are not doing duty properly. Why? So this is the reason we want to create a proper discipline and things. We want to teach all the students for in last 3 years, the residency periods. So I think duty hours, I don't think duty hours should be 36 hours or 24 hours. But I think 12 and 15 hour duty hours are not so enough or not so much that resident could not do their duties properly. So this is one more thing. In casualty duty hours in trauma center, duty hours is only for 6 hours or 8 hours. But still the residents are not doing duty. Why? Because there is stress a lot. What these things are stopping those residents to doing duty. So this is my concern regarding this. Ki we are supporting in all the way, all the residents, but still they are not doing. So what is the reason behind this? Depression, psychiatric illnesses, you are pointing out very much, but I don't think this is the right thing. So these are the things related, but not in the much of the population. This is a very less population which are involved with the depression and anxiety. But I don't think that who is choosing these fields, so they are previously defined as a depressed or anxiety related. They know this field is how much this field wants from us. So I think we should be prepared for these things. We are not so weak we can stop working in 12 or 15 hours. Sometimes surgeons would work in the OPDs, in a surgery OT. They have to long standing neurosurgery. Neurosurgery takes around 10 to 12 hours surgery in the trauma center or in a OT center. So these are the things we are facing. Respiratory illness, crises. So doctors should be ready for any war. We are just like a army men or women. We are not like just a human being, like a computer operator or engineer student. So this is my point. Next thing.
This doesn't mean that we are kind of, going anti to you or pro to you. It's just our thought. That's it. I mean, we are not implying or imploding our thoughts to you.
Thank you, Manikya. Our next contestant is engaged in Hall B. So, ma'am, he'll be joining us later on. So, we'll directly move to the contestant number 3. For the motion, Shreya Palit.
It is coming closer. My time is coming soon. And after that, I must survive until I see the moon. Each shift is a battle, each posting a war. I am locked in and I cannot open the door. These, my dear friends, are the truest emotions of a doctor, penned by a doctor posted in the emergency. Imagine 15 such grueling hours every single day. Horrifying, isn't it? Good morning, respected members of the jury, teachers, and my dear friends. I, Shreya Palit of MBBS Batch 2020, KGMU, am here to present my views firmly for the motion in question. The working hours of medical residents should be reduced. The print dated 5th June 2019 states, 15-hour shifts, no food, no breaks, no sleep. Tired of such working conditions, medical residents hail the central government to declare them severely overworked. With several reputed surveys mentioning 6-hour daily duration of ideal productivity for a human, I fail to understand, are doctors expected to be superhumans? Reduced quality of patient care, decreased patient satisfaction, lower patient safety. These ill effects top the list when we talk about the disadvantages of longer working hours. A recently published survey by the Stanford University School of Medicine states that more than 50% of the medical residents suffer from doctor fatigue. Consequently, they are more than twice as likely to perform major medical, life-altering mistakes. Alarming, isn't it? But my dear friends, if the present trend continues, we may expect a further downfall. Now let me pose a genuine question to you. Is each one of you seated here as productive at 6 p.m. in the evening as you are at 8 a.m.? Given that you've been working continuously. I'm sure your answer would be an emphatic no. Then how can doctors be expected to have that level of emotional, physical, and intellectual productivity at all hours of the day? The Guardian, dated 5th July 2017, states more than 50% medical residents have agreed to have met with an accident or near misses on their way home due to sleep deprivation. A study in the NCBI states that more than 30% medical residents are clinically depressed and 16.7% have reported suicidal ideations. He heals the world. From birth till the last breath, he holds your hand. He gives hope to a life. But my dear friends, doesn't he deserve a life? Doesn't he deserve peace? Indeed, it is time for introspection. Thank you.
Very well spoken, ma'am. So my question to you is that you talked about how suffering it is for the residents today. So you think that the number of hours should be reduced, but can you reduce the number of patients? Can you reduce their pain? It will be increasing every day, the number of patients, the pain, the suffering. But still you think the number of hours should be reduced.
Okay. Thank you so much for your question. Well, I was expecting this question from the opponents. Possibly the strongest point that you have is that we have a huge patient load and we have a minimum working force. That is what you're trying to say. So if we reduce the number of hours, we are not tending to the needs of the population. That is what you're trying to say. But my dear friends, we are approaching this problem at the wrong point. There is a particular biological rhythm, certain biological rhythms that our body follows, a certain attention span that we have, and if we are going beyond that, we are not staying as productive. So it doesn't matter anyway. And we are hitting the problem at the wrong point. We should rather focus on increasing our skilled workforce, the number of doctors, rather than increasing the working hours of one particular doctor. I guess that will be a more legit solution to this problem, rather than trying to increase the working hours, because the productivity as such remains same. Thank you.
You yourself, my question to you is, you yourself, in the last sentence, you yourself identified that the correct way is increasing the workforce, not reducing the hours. Because as doctors, we have to be ready 24/7. They are not expected to work 24/7, yet they should be alert, yet at any point their services might be needed that they can go. So the answer is increasing the workforce, not reducing the hours. The hours should stay the same, and in increasing the workforce could complement that. So what would you say on that?
Okay. So here I would like to say, we have two things at hand. First, we have an increasing patient load. Thank you for your question first. Okay? And we have an increasing patient load. We have an increased amount of work that the doctors have to do. Now, what I am trying to say is, if you increase the working hours of one particular doctor, you aren't increasing the biological productivity of the doctor. Stretching for 15 hours, well, I'd like to mention a very interesting point here. There's a survey conducting body called the JAMA Open Network Channel. They have conducted a survey in the US where they have found that in suspected patients, doctors who are consulting in the morning, during the morning consultation hours, they have reported more cervical cancer screening biopsies, cervical cancer screening tests, rather than those after 2 p.m. Because they believe that after 2 p.m. Doctors, that is what the study concluded, that after 2 p.m. the doctors rather wanted to get done with their job as fast as possible, rather than giving tests which they do not deem to seem necessary in that case. So this is a very, beautiful fact that will reinforce my statement of saying that if you increase the working hours, you are not increasing their productivity. So can you compromise on the patient care, the quality of patient care that you're giving them? Increasing the workforce with two aims. First, to tend to the increasing patient load, and secondly, to tend to the more number of hours that our residents are giving in. Thank you. Thank you.
Very well spoken, Shreya. Our next contestant is Ish Gupta against the motion.
First, I have a request. First, let's have a round of applause for all the hard-working residents and our professors who once were the most diligent residents in our college. Good morning, everyone. I am Ish Gupta from MBBS batch 2021. I stand here to present my views against the motion of the topic of this debate: working hours of the residents should be reduced. When I was preparing for NEET, I sacrificed 2 years of my most joyful period of schooling, 11th and 12th class. I exactly knew that I will have to study for next 10 more years. I exactly knew I'll have to work for sleepless hours. I exactly knew I might not be treated well by my patients, or by my seniors, or even by my juniors. But I still did it I could have chosen to become an engineer or a pilot or anything. I chose it knowing all the facts, all the things that come with this profession. We are in medical fraternity. It's not a 9 to 5 job. It can't be. I repeat, it can't be a 9 to 5 job. Patient will be coming anytime. You can't expect a pregnant woman to deliver exactly at 5 p.m. What if she delivers at 7 p.m.? You'll just say, my working hours are finished. It's not just fair enough. Pain and disorders see no time when it comes. It can come anytime. And as doctors, as the frontline workers, we have to stand there. We couldn't have fought against coronavirus if it was not for sleepless hours, when our citizens were sleeping in their homes and we were there, our residents were there, our doctors were there. Talking about stress, mental disorders. So I would like to shift my focus on more than on working hours, than on the violence against doctors. They are underpaid with respect to the number of hours they work. And the patients they deal with who abuse them. These are the things that we should focus on. We should give these topics the stage for debate. These are the main reasons for suicides, for stress, for mental disorders. So with this, I would like to conclude my debate. I would like to say that rather than reducing the number of hours, I'm not saying that we should increase the number of hours. I'm saying we should make it stay the same. And at last, I would like to say, as ma'am said, that the number of doctors should be increased. I would like to prefer quality over quantity. Thank you.
Really nicely spoken, Ish. Well, I must point out that the case you mentioned about a pregnant lady which is coming out of the duty hours, this is a classic example of a strawman fallacy that you just did over there. We are not pointing, I believe the two speakers who spoke in favor never pointed out the fact that if a patient comes at an oddly hour and it is just at the margin of our shift, we won't be working for it. We are against a scheduled, an elongated schedule of long working hours. That is what we are actually pointing out. So, would you like to comment on it?
So, even our professor just mentioned 15 to 16 hours of shift, right? And they have experienced that the residents are not diligently working in those 15 to 16 hours. So for that discipline, they are increasing the number of hours, which is, I guess, fair enough.
Sir, you mentioned patient-doctor related violence, but I would like to quote that many of these cases in which there is medical negligence that is documented, they can be traced back to the overworked residents because they were not able to perform to their full potential because they were overworked. So what do you like to say to that?
Thank you for the question. So I would like to say, yes, they are overworked, but the thing is, you can't replace them with you mean to say like we can increase the seats. We should increase the seat. We should increase the number of seats in every department for the residents. We can't prefer quantity over quality. We don't require quantity of doctors. We require quality of doctors.
Well spoken, Ish. Well, I have two questions to you. My name is Shreya Palit, and I have two questions to you. First one, you mentioned about a 9 to 5 job. Well, I would like you to focus on the fact that we are talking about the number of working hours rather than a 9 to 5 job being, like we are not quoting that it has to be from 9 to 5. We are saying that it should be the number of hours that you're working in a day. It may be split over the entire day, distributed over the entire day, but it should stay to a limit that allows your body to function effectively. and stay productive. So would you like to comment on that? Question number one. And question number two, in your last statement, you mentioned quality over quantity. Don't you think you are contradicting your own stand by saying quality over quantity, because you want the number of working hours to be more irrespective of how the doctor is functioning, whether he's productive or not? Thank you.
First thing, I never mentioned I want number of hours to be more. I said number of hours to remain same and not reduce. And second thing is that, excuse me, can I just hear your first question again?
You mentioned, I'll quote the example that you mentioned. You said if a pregnant lady has labor pain at 7, so should we tell her that why didn't you have it at 5? It doesn't function like that. It is, you have the number of hours distributed over the entire day. That is what we are talking about. We are not talking about 9 to 5 job. A doctor's job can never be compared to one working in the MNC. We understand that. But we're talking about the number of hours that you're working in the day.
Okay, so the thing I can mention here is that, yes, it shouldn't be like stretched from like the resident is working from 8, started from 8, no breaks, and finishing at like 12, like 9 or 10. I'm talking about like if like the number of hours remain the same. If we talk about from 8 to 8, it's 12 hours, right? So for working 12 hours, it can be put to like 8 to 12 where there are like breaks. But the working hours still remain 12 hours. We are not counting the breaks. That's my point. We can reschedule everything without reducing the number of hours.
Any question from the judges? We'd also like to welcome Dr. Sheetal Verma ma'am from the Department of Microbiology, who is our judge for the next event, that's Extempore.
Hal.
Mama, why my life is full of stress and worries? Why on earth I had chosen for medicine? Dear son, then tell me whose life is easier. A very fine morning to respected judges, my fellow batchmates, seniors. Today, myself Aryan Arora, MBBS 2020 batch from King George Medical University, Lucknow, wants to speak against the motion. According to me, the working hours of the residents shouldn't be decreased. The universe is vast, and I am just a speck of dust in this universe, which I have very less knowledge and very less experience. So to verify my school of thoughts, I went to respected Professor Dr. Raja Rupani sir. He said, the exact words, he said that the pure gold never afraid of the flames. The residents are the pillars of the healthy society. Tell me, friends, if the building is tall enough, but its foundation is weak, wouldn't it collapse? It will. My fellow competitors would said that due to this, the suicide rate is increasing. But friends, do you know, being void and being unemployed increase the suicide rates. Being busy never increase suicide rates. Some might be of the view that studies have shown that there has no significant increase in the performance if the working hours would have reduced, but they don't mention each and every core competency of National Medical Commission of India. According to National Medical Commission of India, a resident should be a good clinician. He should have a good practical knowledge. He should have a good theoretical knowledge. He should know all the medico-legal aspects, medical ethics, should publish research articles. And is the expectation of NMC wrong? No, friends. The expectations of NMC are not wrong. We have to give our whole time, our whole dedication, our whole determination to that. And I also want to say that hard times create a strong man and strong women. And whose life is easier then? If we see Bollywood actors, don't they shoot for long hours just for a 3 hours movie? Don't our mothers work 24 hours just to sustain our family? At last, but not the least, I want to conclude that life should not be the journey to the grave with the intention of being clean and safely preserved, but rather totally worn out, completely tore off, and proudly proclaiming, holy shit, that was the ride. I also stand some years after in the place of residence, but then this debate will motivate me to work for a healthy society, to work for my family, and to work for the nation. Thank you.
Well spoken, Aryan.
Thank you.
Myself, Shreya Palit. And my question to you is that in your very first stanza of your piece, you had mentioned, how can a weak foundation give rise to a strong building? Now, here I would like to say that you are mentioning our medical residents are the foundation of our medical fraternity. And the longer working hours that they are facing are exposing them to weakened immunity, to higher risk of opportunistic infections, higher risk of tuberculosis, and these are documented things. I'm saying things that I have taken from the NCBI. And higher risk of accidents because of sleep deprivation. So would you please like to comment on that?
Exactly.
Thank you.
First of all, I have not said this in my debate anywhere, but still, if you have asked this, so let me explain. Is this not a profession that we have chosen for ourselves? Yes, it is. And the risk is of infection. If you work 2 hours, if you work 3 hours, then also there would be the risk of infection. If you work for 10 hours, 20 hours, then also would be the risk of infection. Don't we deserve a clean environment for that? For good sanitation, we deserve a clean environment. There is no point of reduction of ours. And I must also say that we should get a higher salary. Na? If we have a somewhat increased time, so the salary would be increased because this profession demands good time. Cricketer demands good time just to win a match. Bollywood actors demand a good time just to shoot a 3-hour movie. Mother needs a good time just to sustain her family. Every profession in the world deserves long time, and so this profession is. Thank you.
Before proceeding, please don't use unparliamentary words. Holy shit shouldn't have been used.
I'm sorry for...
Thank you, sir, for your speech.
Respected judges, I am very sorry for using this.
Thank you, sir, for your speech. I am Pritya Gurwala.
Thank you.
And I had a question. I repeat, you did mention about the building and the pillars example. You said that a building, how do you expect a building to be strong when its pillars are weak? And you quoted the residents are the pillars. So do you really think if they work for longer hours, I don't mean it in an immune way, but maybe their mental health, it's weakening. So how do you still expect the medical team to be strong when they are mentally weak, when they suffer from depression or other mental problems?
Exactly. The time is not the only factor in deciding the building block of a healthy society. There are several other factors, being it mental health, being it depression. And I also mentioned that being void and being unemployed is the main reason of depression and not busy. I am of the view that the busy days are the best days. Exactly. Because मेरे साथ भी ऐसा हुआ है. So the busy days are the best days. Time is not the only factor in this. You should take care of your mental health. You should take care of everything. If you think that your mental health is weakened, go to the Department of Psychiatry. There is no stigma associated with it. Time is not the only factor, I repeat.
Any question from the judges?
Thank you, Aryan. That was well put. He was contestant number 2. So our next contestant is Ayushi Dubey for the motion. Ayushi is contestant number 5.
It's not work that kills. It's overwork and no work. Once I heard a layman saying, "Do you know the doctors are always millionaires? But how do they become millionaires? They do so by spending the blood, sweat earnings of the common people on thousands of diagnostic tests, this has actually no relevance with the diagnosis of the patient. And then they spend their hard earning onto their vacations and they are enhancing their lifestyle. And this is the thinking of most of the common people regarding the doctors, the general public. But among this, what we forget is that how much it takes to be a doctor. 4.5 years of tough curriculum of MBBS with countless examinations, 1 year of intense internship, 3 years of residency, and upon that, 3 years of super specialization sometimes. And even after that, when they come out as full-fledged doctors, the market is flooded by many of the senior doctors. Good morning, respected teachers and my dear friends. I, Ayush, I'm student of MBBS 2020 batch, is present before all of you to speak on the topic that the working hours of the medical residents should be reduced, and I strongly support the notion. According to the NCBI reports, the medical residents in India are overloaded. One of the residents, due to overstanding, suffered from cellulitis. A resident from the College of Safdarganj, New Delhi, resigned from his MS surgery residency after 2 years of harsh, ruthless working hours. And even, don't you think that these things are not even deteriorating the physical as well as the mental status of the residents? As we all know that the mind is the only greatest treasure to find. According to when 6 residents of the AIIMS New Delhi went to the psychiatry department for treatment, the IMA said that this is a public crisis and needs to be looked upon. Then according to a research that has been conducted by the Postgraduate Institute of Medical Research and Training said that 30% of the residents are depressed and 17% of them had suicidal thoughts. So can we just give the brainy, cream people of our country just due to overwork? The answer is a big no, no, and no. So at last, simply I would conclude by saying that yes, yes, and definitely yes, the working hours of the medical residents should be reduced, because even Thomas Alva Edison said that the perils of the overwork can be compared with the dangers of inactivity. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
If you want your mental health to be at par, your physical health to be at par, then myself, Aryan Arora, who is asking, sorry to mention my name. If our mental health is, if we want our mental health to be at par, our physical health to be at par, then why we are not consulting physician? Why we are not taking care of ourselves? If we are devoting time to there, we should have to devote our time to ourselves. There is nowhere written that you only have to devote your entire time to your patients. You have to look after yourself as well. So why those people don't?
Okay, Aryan, I got your question. Your question is that I mentioned in my debate, in my speech, that time, I mentioned only time as the only factor. But I'm not saying that time is the only factor. I'm saying time is one of the factors. So when time is one of the, and you know that, okay, it's totally understood that we have to take care of ourselves. But we're not having sufficient time to take care of ourselves. How will we be able to do that? So this is my answer to your question. That I'm not saying that time is the only factor, but time is one of the factors. I know we mentioned that it's the only factor that is deteriorating the lifestyle of the residents. There are many other factors. I can state them, but the topic, then it would deviate from the topic. Any other questions? No more questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ayushi. Our next contestant is Shashwat Agrawal, contestant number 6, for against the motion. Sorry.
Namaste and good morning to everyone present. I'm Shashwat Agarwal, a student of the MBBS 2021 batch, here to put forth my views that the working hours of the residents should not be reduced. Roman statesman Marcus Caelius Cicero quoted and said, and I quote, "In nothing does man more nearly approach God than in giving health to fellow men." This quote essentially underlines the very fact that the laymen so profoundly believe in. Doctors are akin to God, and this makes our profession not just a mere 9 to 5. It's a service, it's a duty that we are serving to the entire mankind. Now, my father himself is a cardiologist, and from his days in his residency to even now, he still works odd hours whenever his job demands so. He still comes late at night and goes early in the morning again. Sometimes he even has to work on the festivals while all my other friends' parents are with them celebrating, he is often in the hospital. One time I confronted him about it and asked him, "Why do you do it?" He smiled and simply said, "I took the oath." The thing is, his dedication and commitment should tell us all and ultimately remind us why we took the Charak Shapat. Day in and day night, which quotes, "Day in and day night you shall endeavor for the relief of your patients. Thou shalt not desert your patient for thy living." And one more thing, if the residents did, one more thing I would like to quote is the pandemic. If the residents didn't work as long as they worked hard and put in as much hours, and they simply said that we'll also go home like the others, but they worked so that others could be protected. Could the pandemic have been gotten over so quickly? Could we have saved so many lives as we have did now if the residents and the other doctors, like all others, sat at homes? Maybe that's why, from the Prime Minister to the rickshawalas, all bowed down in salute to the frontline workers and hailed their dedication and commitment towards serving. When the Director General of Medical Education and Research was asked about it, the same question that the residents working asked, they said that it is essential for the training of the residents. Unless a resident monitors their patient continuously, how will he know when a disease is progressing or the patient is recovering and what are... So it is working round the clock is quite essential for the well-trained physician. Lastly, I would like to conclude that if we reduce the working hours, we'll be putting in jeopardy the quality of physicians we are training, because they will have less experience, they will have less knowledge on how to deal with the patients. Thank you.
You are accepting and you are grieving over the fact. You are saying that I confronted my father for the thing that he was not available for you sometime. You see that this is the actual thing that we are striving here for. No, we are not saying that he shouldn't be available for his patient. We are saying that the administration should have enough doctors. They should have enough people to treat the patient. That, children like you, children like all of us, and the children of doctors, they should have their fathers, they should have their mothers at the time when they require them the most.
Thank you, sir, for your question. But the point that my learned friends from the other side, who are speaking from the other side, fail to understand, and they quite also point out in their speeches that we need to increasing the working force. But we are not here to debate on that. If I ask today the question that should the medical residents or the working force increase, all of us would single-handedly say yes, because that should be increased. But the question here is, so you are addressing another problem. That we can't reduce. The question is, should the working hours should stay the same or not? Unless you first increase the working force, the working hours still can stay the same. They can have less workload, but You can't expect them to first reduce the working hours and then increase the workforce. Firstly, you have to have a substantial amount of workforce, unless then if you reduce the working hours, you will be compromising patient care, and that will be fundamentally against the oath we all have taken. Thank you.
Dear Shashwat, you have said that you have taken the oath. Very nice. Don't you think that patient require quality treatment, or they need your time? You can only give quality treatment to the patient when you have enough time. And as I'll just interrupt over here, the WHO Mental Health Day said, come office on time, leave office on time. And then you can go back, you can study your books, you can devote your time towards nature, towards your children, towards the society. You have a responsibility towards society also. Not only you are a doctor, but you are a human being, you are a son, you have a lot of responsibilities. You're not the only one God who will treat all the patients. You have to manage the time. And now is the time to debate upon the time management, and patient require not only the doctor's time, they require the skills and the proper quality treatment, which can only be done if you have time for yourself, time to study. I have seen residents working for 24 hours, 36 hours at a stretch, and do not know what they're doing towards the patient. Be a study on how the quality treatment is. Is actually the time which the residents are giving is actually leading to the high mortality and the morbidity, ignorance. So better they leave the office on time, their wards on time, and go back, study in peace, come back next day and deliver quality care to the patient. They deserve the best. Thank you so much.
Okay, Shashwat, a very nice presentation. Thank you so congratulations for that. I want to ask one thing. I mean, you said in your debate that doctors are akin to gods, right? Don't you think gods also meditate? They also have taken time for them to meditate. So when gods can do the same, then why can't doctors? And don't you think, these doctor-patient relationships are, in continuous danger because of you might be hearing so many instances regarding the fights between the doctors, and that's why the new chapter ethics has been added, stating, focusing on doctors-patient relationship. Don't you think if you are mentally sound to make decisions or to declare, the dead body or declare the death of a patient, don't you think you need a sanity of your mind? And that comes when you have complete, you are mentally stable, rather than you are completely unstable and you have worked throughout your day, throughout your night, 24 hours, and that is just a start. I mean, I have seen while doing my internship, residents, they were sleeping while standing. Before taking their blood samples, they were sleeping, and patients were laughing at them. So that was just a mockery of the medical profession. I think by reducing the number of hours would do would be a promising thing in the future. But that's my thought. It's totally all right.
Sir, thank you, sir, for your feedback. Sir, I'd like to add one point to that no one is asking doctors to work 24-hour shifts continuously. No one, that is totally another thing. We are asking the working hours should stay the same. We are not asking that the working hours, however hours may be working, 15-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts, that should be in a stretch. My senior and the first contestant very eloquently quoted an example from the AIMS, wherein they have 3 schedules, morning schedule, afternoon schedule, and evening schedule, which gives them enough time to meditate and focus, and they can contribute to the society other than being a doctor. That gives them enough time. So that is another question. If we can properly, like the AIMS example, if we calculate the total hours, that will come approximately the same. But what we have done is, like just in case of studying also, once there's a case we can study continuously for 5-6 hours and we'll burn out and we'll not remember everything. The other is to take small breaks, and that is what we can do. But that is another thing. We are saying the working hours can remain the same, and in between the schedules of the doctors can be made as such that there's not a single long stretch of time for which they have to work continuously. They can have periodically their breaks, and then they can again come, because medical profession demands, like I said, demands round the medical profession. I might go far as to say that it's like a mother. It's like being a mother. Just like a mother is always committed to the excellence and well-being of the child, her child, like that, we are always committed. That's the fundamental principle, that we are always committed towards the excellence and well-being of our patients. And we shouldn't have any compromise in that.
Thank you, Shashwat. Next is contestant number 7, Devanshi Srivastav, for the motion.
Good morning, respected judges, my worthy opponents, and everyone present here. I am thankful for this opportunity. I hereby stand for the motion that the working hours of the residents should be reduced. But there is a clause, not the way you're thinking. While doing my research for today, I was quite baffled. There was confusion, disbelief, and obviously questions. So let me begin with the what and the whys. This issue about working hours has been making the headlines because of the recent cases where the resident doctors had to end their own lives. But unfortunately, because of maybe better reporting during and after the pandemic, we are realizing that we are procuring a great loss in the form of trained medical professionals. There is a general consensus to bring about this change because the residents are overworked. They are stressed, there is lack of motivation, they don't really have a schedule, they are sleep deprived, and in total, their physical, mental, emotional, and social well-being is taking a very hard hit. The resident stay, typically, is quite hectic. From taking history to being the first ones to examine the patients, from maintaining the communication between the consultant and the patient to ordering in investigations, from, I would say, doing their own study and research work. They're doing everything. They're the multitaskers. What happens is that in tertiary centers like KGMU, SGPGI, and AIMS, there is a huge patient load, and it's becoming very difficult to tend to that load. So there is a genuine disparity that has started existing between the demanding patients and the available doctors. Residency is a very golden period for these doctors as well, because as professionals, they're learning how to manage everything independently and individually, which is very different from other sectors, because every task is and will always be done by a group of people only. So automatically what happens is their hours increased per shift. The patients, these hospitals and young doctors are their only hope. However, standing up to these expectations cannot be done at the cost of one's life. To tackle these complications, one, reduction in working hours should be done as weekly and monthly offs. Provision should be made for as in some hours should be given for different activities. Duty rosters should be made so that one resident should not be there for more than the amount of time for which he can function properly. Referred patients that come from district hospitals or any other private organizations which can be treated there should be treated there only. Residents from preclinical departments and non-PG residents can also be called for help from time to time. Counseling sessions should be held frequently to help and support the residents. Mental health is of utmost importance. In addition, there should be good communication between the resident and the consultant. They should be praised and motivated. Positive criticism is the need of the hour. They should be allowed to have some time for their family as well, because family is very important. Yes, they have taken the oath. Yes, they know that they have agreed to sacrifice a lot. Yes, they know what it entails to wear a white coat, but not at the cost of the basic human needs. Thank you.
Well spoken, ma'am. My name is Kushi Bansal. I have a question, ma'am. Ma'am, you mentioned in your speech that this residency is a golden period of time.
Yeah.
And secondly, you also mentioned that the residents are multitask masters,
Yeah.
right? Being a multitask master and being in the position of this golden period, don't you think that ample amounts of working hour will add on to their supremacy? Don't you think that ample amount of working hours?
What if you do not are in a state to learn at all? Don't you get it? Like, if you cannot actually be sane enough to learn, there's a particular amount of time for which you can concentrate and deliver. After that, what happens? What will happen? That happens to all of us.
But since this is a golden period, this is an opportunity to learn. So don't you think that
You
they should make the
you
best?
become incapable of learning after that. After a few hours. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Don't you think all our fingers are equal? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. So some people are more workaholic, some cannot. So it varies person to person. So some people can work at 24 hours at a stretch. They are multitasker. Some cannot. Some are able only to work for 8 hours. Now, don't you think it should be a person who should decide? Yes, if I want to take particular field, now 3 years I have to give it day and night. So, if a person should know his inner strength, and if he has that, let him work for more hours. It is his capacity, he can command over it. And if somebody does not have that potential, let them take a lighter field. You have variety of field in the medical profession and during the residency. Why you want to reduce the time? If somebody has that stamina, we should support them. Why we should be shunning them? You cannot do. He has gained that power and through over years. So let him do it. Do his duty, and probably we need such multitaskers in our society. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to answer this by first saying that, first of all, let us decide by what we are really passionate about. Okay. And before choosing a field, supposedly there are various departments that require a lot of time. Proper orientation is needed before you're choosing to give you the ground reality check of what it involves. Secondly, you said that many individuals can work more as compared to others. Fine, they can volunteer. Let those people rest who are not able to function. Also, you mentioned something else. I am forgetting. Can you please repeat as well? I think I'm forgetting something. Yeah. Yeah, sure. The problem is it's not about the wrong choice. If there's a particular number of hours decided in a day, like it is. We try not to overwork them beyond that. But when we talk about these things, these are rules and regulations that are implemented that will be implemented on every resident in the country. So here you cannot, it cannot be, simply officially said that it needs to be personal choice. If you can, you should volunteer for other people. Simple.
Don't you think, rather than, we are cribbing on reducing their working hours, we should be doing career counseling of the student before they are actually opting for the field? Because if you know that a student is opting surgery and he knows that surgical field is demanding, anytime an emergency could crop up and he has to work even for 24 hours at stretch. So I think career counseling should be given before, and then, you know, if I have chosen surgical or a hardcore clinical field, because what I have seen in society that people, there is a peer pressure or even a parental pressure to take clinical field, and student is not willing to take clinical field, yet they are getting into that, you know, drag hole that they are taking clinical field. They are not competent enough to work for 24 hours or even stretched hours, but still they are taking just for the sake of the society and just to sacrifice the ego of their parents that they are taking clinical field. So I think career counseling is important before taking the field, rather than crying on reducing the number of hours.
Yes, sir, but I firmly believe that the first step is the reduction in hours. Because career counseling, okay, this is very important, and I've also mentioned that periodic counseling is very important. So, but I have a confusion that supposedly if a president wants to take a field that requires a lot of work, should that person be stopped just because he's not capable of giving in that number of hours? Learning happens gradually. So here comes in play, basically it's now the relationship between the seniors and the juniors is very important. If there is this environment of family, or where you can express yourself positively in a positive way and discuss your problems, whatever you're facing, this can be solved. But the first step is the reduction in hours.
Our next participant is Prem Kumar Verma, and he'll be speaking against the motion.
We should follow the timeline. The question hour is only half minute.
यहाँ पर उपस्थित सभी शिक्षकगणों को मैं प्रणाम करता हूँ एवं मित्रों को मेरा प्यार भरा नमस्कार। आज इस वाद विवाद प्रतियोगिता में मेरा विषय है कि मेडिकल रेजिडेंट्स के कार्य समय को कम कर देना चाहिए, तो मैं इसके विपक्ष में बोलना चाहता हूँ। मेरा मानना यह है कि यदि हम मेडिकल रेजिडेंट्स के वर्किंग आवर्स को अगर कम करेंगे तो उसका सीधा सा असर हमें जो देखने को मिलेगा वो मरीजों पर देखने को मिलेगा। हम सीधे जैसे कि हम देखते हैं कि अगर रेजिडेंट्स किसी समय हड़ताल पर चले जाते हैं तो एक न्यूज़ बन जाती है कि न जाने कितने ही मरीज़ बिना दवाई लिए अपने घर वापस जा रहे हैं। तो कभी हम ये रियलाइज़ करें कि हम किसी मरीज़ को लेकर गए और वहाँ पर डॉक्टर साहब हमको ना मिले और हमको वापस आना पड़े, तो मरीजों को उससे काफ़ी तकलीफ़ होती है। दूसरा मैं ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि मेडिकल रेजिडेंट्स के तौर पर हम चीज़ें ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सीखने को मिलती हैं, तो जितना ज़्यादा हम अपना समय जितना ज़्यादा हम समय की ड्यूटी करेंगे उतना ज़्यादा ही हमको सीखने को मिलेगा। बाकी ये मेडिकल एक ऐसा प्रोफेशन है, इसे दूसरे प्रोफेशन से कंपैरिजन नहीं करना चाहिए कि वहाँ 4 घंटे की ड्यूटी लोगों की होती है, वहाँ 5 घंटे की होती है। इसमें हमको 24 घंटे दिन रात किसी भी समय बुलाया जा सकता है। जैसे कि कहीं कोई प्राकृतिक आपदा आ जाती है तब मेडिकल टीम को बुलाया जाएगा, तो हम ये नहीं देखेंगे कि हम अभी डिप्रेशन में हैं या हम नींद नहीं पूरी हुई है, हमको एकदम तुरंत वहाँ पर उपस्थित रहना पड़ेगा। एग्जाम्पल के तौर पर हम ये देख सकते हैं कि जब कोई किसी फौजी की ट्रेनिंग चल रही है और उसे भविष्य के लिए तैयार किया जा रहा है, तो वो फौजी ये नहीं कह सकता है कि सर हमारी ट्रेनिंग कम कीजिए, हमको घर वालों से मिलने के लिए समय नहीं मिल पाता है, अथवा हमारा शरीर दर्द करने लगता है। वो ये बात नहीं कहेगा बिल्कुल, क्योंकि उसे पता है कि हम भविष्य के लिए जिस काम के लिए हमको तैयार किया जा रहा है तो उसके लिए हमको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा ट्रेनिंग करनी पड़ेगी। और हम ये भी जानते हैं कि दुनिया जो डॉक्टर्स को एक भगवान का दूसरा रूप हमको बताती है, तो हमें ये भी सोचना चाहिए कि इतना जब सम्मान देती है तो उसके लिए इतनी वाहवाही हमको दी जाती है, तो उसके लिए थोड़ा सा संघर्ष हमें करना ही पड़ेगा। और संघर्ष भी वही तो संघर्ष है जो हमने स्वयं से चुना हुआ है। कोई वो ऐसी फील्ड नहीं है कि हम दूसरा फील्ड हमने चुना था और दूसरा काम हमको करने के लिए बताया जा रहा है। धन्यवाद।
First of all, +1 for your Hindi. You have chosen Hindi as your medium of language.
Myself, Shreya Palit. Thank you for your speech. आपने अपने, मैं 2 पॉइंट्स पर आपको क्वेश्चन करना चाहूँगी। आपने अपने स्पीच में मेंशन करा कि डॉक्टर्स हड़ताल पर चले जाते हैं तो बहुत दिक्कत होती है। क्या आप रिड्यूस्ड वर्किंग आवर्स को हड़ताल के साथ कंपेयर करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं? हड़ताल इज़ व्हेन वी रिफ्यूज़ टू सर्व द पब्लिक, व्हेन वी रिफ्यूज़ टू सर्व आवर पेशेंट्स। रिड्यूस्ड वर्किंग आवर्स डज नॉट मीन हम अपने ओथ के अगेंस्ट जाके अपने पेशेंट्स को सर्व नहीं करेंगे, नंबर 1। और नंबर 2,
हम इससे ये बताना चाहते हैं कि किसी ना किसी तरीके से हम डॉक्टर्स को भविष्य के लिए तैयार कर रहे हैं। जब हम अभी से नहीं सीखेंगे तो भविष्य में हम वो सेवाएं कैसे प्रदान कर पाएंगे। अभी हमको डिप्रेशन भी झेलना है, हमको अपनी नींद को कंप्रोमाइज़ भी करना है कि मरीज़ हमारे पास किसी भी समय आएगा तो उसमें हमें उसको देखना पड़ेगा। हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि हमारा अभी समय पूरा हो चुका है, हम दूसरे काम से जा रहे हैं, आप कहीं और दिखा लीजिए। ये कोई दूसरे व्यवसाय से कंपेरिजन नहीं कर सकते इसका। जैसे कि किसी दुकान पर गए कि ये सामान हमको नहीं मिला तो किसी दूसरी दुकान से ले लिया, तो हमें मरीज़ को तो तुरंत देखना पड़ेगा ना, ये बताना चाहते हैं। थैंक यू।
Our next participant is Kritya Agarwal, participant number 9, and she'll be speaking for the motion.
Good morning, respected judges, teachers, seniors, and my dear friends. I am Kritya Agarwala, a first-year MBBS student at King George Medical University, and I stand strongly for the motion. A quick Google search shows that resident doctors are called so because they generally live on the campus of their medical institution and are expected to be available 24/7. Now, therein lies the root of the problem. In 2019, a section of resident doctors in India started a campaign called I Am Overworked to draw attention to their plight. The fact that resident doctors in government institutions are overworked is not even a matter of debate. The high load of patients and the crumbling infrastructure are two of the most important contributing factors for residents being overworked. In India, the high cost of private healthcare leads most of the people to divert their attention to the government setups. Secondly, a lot of private practitioners refer critically ill patients to the government facilities to avoid fatalities that will reflect poorly on their reputation. Resident doctors fear to even complain due to the hierarchical setup in government institutions. Most residents in India are also pursuing their postgraduate courses and fear reprisals in case they complain. Bullying, which is rampant in such institutions, is another reason they fear to even speak up. This level of stress, combined with over 12-hour work shifts, is a recipe for disaster. Burnouts among residents are very common. In India, there are very few postgraduate medical seats and there is intense competition to get admission in them. So, leaving the course due to stress or overwork is not even an option for many. Many residents get only 3 to 4 hours of sleep in between and they can't even sleep in those little gaps because they are haunted by dreams of patients and paperwork. Many of them report falling asleep on their way back home and getting into car accidents or even falling asleep on the operating beds. It doesn't require a medical degree to understand the level of psychological impact it has on the mental health of these residents. Overwork among residents affects the behavior towards the patients as well. In the long run, it causes a bad patient-doctor relationship as many people prefer to suffer silently than face humiliation in a hospital. Residentship has become a mere formality than a training group for the doctors to earn the rigors of the profession. Unlike other industries, doctors don't even have the option to mass quit because simply said, if they do, people die. I would like to conclude by saying it is up to us. It is our responsibility to bring justice and fairness to them. Thank you.
Their problem lies is they can't speak for themselves, they can't stand for themselves, they are
Thank you for your question, sir. Thank you for your question, sir. Even though you say that the work time has been reduced to 80 hours a week, I honestly think it's just on paper, because road accidents because doctors fell asleep on their way back home is so common, and it is just because they didn't have enough time to rest. Also, because they are not even getting enough rest for their mental peace. Your health and sanity should be above all. And if that is not there, I don't think you can be efficient in any way. Thank you.
Our next participant is Khushi Bansal, participant number 10, speaking against the motion.
Life's battle don't always go to the stronger and the faster man. But sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. A very good morning to the respected members of the jury, respected members of the faculty, and all my dear friends. Today I, Khushi Bansal, stand before you all to express my views on the topic that the working hours of the residents should be reduced. The above quote which I used was spoken by H.W. Longfellow. This quote aptly describes the truth of life. It says that in order to achieve throne, crown, and glory, one must undergo pain. Now, my dear friends, I would like to say that as per the directives of Supreme Court of the directives of 1985 under the United Central National Residency Association, it is mentioned that the continuous active duty of the residents must not exceed 12 hours per day with a weekly one-day gap by rotation. My dear friends, I would like to say that I am well aware of the fact that there is increasing workload and increasing burnout among the Indian residents, despite the guidelines of the Supreme Court. Yet, I would like to emphasize on the fact that there are three kinds of persons in the world: the wills, the won'ts, and the can'ts. The wills accomplish everything, the won'ts oppose everything, and the can'ts fail in everything. Now, my dear friends, I would like to emphasize on the fact that the doctors are a special class of people with high academic brilliance and never say die attitude. My dear friends, I would like to throw light on the fact that the privilege of practicing medicine is not bestowed on anybody and everybody. Practicing medicine is an honor, and to serve that honor, we must be ready. Now, my dear friends, I would like to quote few lines from the poem Psalm of Life. In the world's broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, be not a dumb driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. In order to be a hero in the strife, you need to be tough, you need to be resilient. I know that increased amount of emotional charged environment and high working load can take toll on anybody. But I also know that facing these challenges is what makes you invincible. And to be invincible, we need to be resilient and tolerant. And this is what our medical profession demands. This is the need of the hour. And thus, according to me, accepting the challenges, overcoming them, and facing them is what makes you a professional doctor who is bestowed with the honor of practicing medicine. And with this, I rest my case. Thank you so much.
My name is Ayush. I want to ask you this question, that you mentioned that despite the order of the Supreme Court, the medical residents are still overworked. So don't you think that this is the topic that we all are discussing about, that the workload should be reduced?
Yes, ma'am. I would like, first of all, I'm grateful for your question. I would like to mention that I just mentioned the directives of Supreme Court to emphasize on the fact that these are the working hours, 12 hours per day with one day weekly gap.
But this is not followed.
This is there as per the directives. I've already mentioned that under the directives of Supreme Court, the working hours of the resident should not be reduced. And secondly, I would like to emphasize on the fact, I would like to use few lines from the poem Psalm of Life, where H.W. Longfellow says, "Let us be then up and doing, with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait." And this is what makes you a professional, right? And I also mentioned in my speech that the honor of practicing medicine is not bestowed on anybody and everybody. Academic brilliance and never say die attitude are the two main attributes of the doctors. So according to me, this should be the answer. I hope this answer satisfies your query. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Next we have with us Kritika Gupta, participant number 11, speaking for the motion.
In the face of trials considered next to God, these soldiers with stethoscopes are forced into conditions that are odd. For long hours, they maneuver through human body's complexities, letting go of their human health, personal life, and other priorities. Yet, this unempathetic world continues to plunder, forcing them to work for long hours at a stretch. Oh, why? I wonder. Whom will they torture when these doctors die distressed? Isn't it high time that their well-being be addressed? A very warm good morning to each one of you present here. I am Kritika Gupta and I stand here firmly to speak in favor of the motion. That is, the working hours of medical residents should be reduced. First of all, I would like to put up a few questions. Why is it so that the doctors are considered to be at a higher suicide risk, and that too around 2.5 times more than the general population? And what do you think is the most probable reason that the most well-mannered medical practitioner is not able to show and exhibit the required and the expected amount of care and empathy towards his or her patients after a specific number of duty hours? In my opinion, all those questions have a single common answer. That is, the excessive workload on medical residents leading to poor performance and the tendency to make mistakes which can be and are often fatal in a medical environment. These countless cases of medical negligence not only hamper patient-doctor relationship but also contribute in the increasing number of patient-doctor related violence. Now, my worthy opponents may try to justify this culture of excessive overwork as a tradition of good training process. But believe it or not, the prevalence of substance abuse among medical residents is found to be as high as 20%. Who knows that one hit of nicotine you took for being awake for a single shift could act as a precursor for a lifelong addiction. So now, I would like to conclude my speech with the words of the great author Winston Churchill. More men are killed by overwork than the importance of this world justifies. With this, I rest my case, but not my voice. Thank you. First of all, thank you for your question. And this data can be verified from the website of NCBI. And you can verify it, I guess you have a mobile phone. Okay, fine. And I never said that time is the only option And time is the only factor that contributes in the increased percentage of suicides among doctors. But overwork, stress, substance abuse, which they take up as an option to reduce their stress, are some of the factors. So time and overwork are one of the factors, and I think that answers your question. Thank you.
So the last participant of this competition, Payashi Shakya, participant number 12, speaking against the motion.
Doctor, please save my son. You are my last hope. I am so sorry. I cannot help you. I am already very worked up and I have a lot of other patients to see. All the other residents have finished their duties. Good afternoon, honorable jury members, my fellow opponents, and everyone present in the audience. Today, I, Paisi Shakya from Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia Institute of Medical Sciences, is present here to express myself against the topic, the working hours of medical residents should be reduced. The conversation stated in the start gives us a proof that why the working hours of medical residents should not be reduced. A recent survey of the medical faculty who interact with the residents have stated that many believe the limit in the residency working hours have proved to have a very negative impact on the professionalism, patient care, and education of the residents. Some even said that these relatively time-limited working hours of the residents have caused them to have more workload and decreased job satisfaction. According to the reports of Dr. Darcy A. Reed from the Mayo Clinic College of Medicine, Rochester, Minnesota, on 111 participants, they stated that 87% of the respondents feel that their work limit have impaired their continuity to care. 75% feel that they have deteriorated their doctor-patient relationship by the limits. Our health minister on July 26, 2022 in the Rajya Sabha stated that the doctor population ratio of our country is right now 1:834, which is better than the WHO standards of 1:1000. But a very recent study led by Professor Anup Karan has stated that India right now has a density of active healthcare workers of only a little more than 1/4 of WHO recommendation of 44.5%, 44.5 healthcare workers per 10,000 population, which is not a very good data. So now for a country where there is already such a great shortage of doctors and residents, how can we be able to decrease the working hours of doctors with the ever increasing patient load? We are all aware of the shortage of doctors and the condition of our health infrastructure during the COVID-19 pandemic. We need not talk about the other factors as well. The government of India right now is spending approximately 1.8% of the GDP on the health infrastructure. India ranks 184 out of the 191 countries in the health infrastructure on spending. USA spending 16%, countries like USA, Germany, countries like Canada, Germany, and Japan spending more than 10% of their GDPs on health infrastructure. If we cannot compete them with the money, should we not work more and improve our health infrastructure? At last, I would just like to say that as doctors, we are always asked to take a pledge whenever we enter the medical college to save the patient no matter what. But if we'll decrease the working hours, or if we'll not include increasing the doctor's load or trying to increase doctor population ratio, I don't think we'll be able to keep up with that pledge. Thank you so much. Signing off, Paisi Shakya.
My name is Madike Verma. Well spoken.
Thank you.
Well, you told us about the pledge that you took. Well, we all took that. Well, you missed a point in the pledge. The pledge also states that before treating a patient and looking for well-being of a patient, it is very important that we look for our well-being as well. the safety of a physician, our safety has a much higher priority than the safety of the patient, because we have to treat many people in the future. Okay, we should not subjugate our health, especially our mental health, for treatment of some people. This is what I believe.
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. I absolutely agree to what you are saying, that we should always keep our mental health at first, then the patient. But when a doctor enters when anyone enters a medical college, they are already aware of the fact that they'll be worked on. They'll have a lot of work to do, because we all know the condition of the health infrastructure of our country right now. Like, having one doctor on 1445 people is a very big thing. So, like, we already know that we are already overworked, and still we very happily enter the medical college. We know the consequences, we know what will happen to us, but still. So I'm not saying we should deteriorate ourselves to keep up with the patient's need, but we should try as much as possible to keep them happy. Thank you so much.
Very well spoken. Each of the speaker here has presented great arguments, and we have seen your opinions, we have heard you. Now I would like my judges to express their opinions, their views on the topic.
Thank you for this opportunity. And I think only first and foremost comment that I can give, that I'm witnessing this debate since my MBBS first year days, and you will be surprised to know that most of you were not born when I was studying the MBBS here. I entered as the MBBS first year student in 1983. So am I right? You were not born. Okay. So I think anybody who dare to say that I was born before 1983, okay, except the faculty, okay. So the debate earlier, it was only done by the Physiological Society. This was not a general debate. The Physiological Society in the first year, that they were organizing the debate, and most of us, including me, were the debaters. And I honestly can confess that the candidates, all 12 candidates, except one, I have listened all 11. Who was the, by the way, who was the first one? You. Your name is? Okay, sorry, I missed you. I came late. That all of you, all 12, I confessed that all you have debated far better than me. Number one. So grand round of applause for all of you. You are a better debater than me. And second thing is that I'm very, desperately seeing the empty seats here in this hall. Because when we were organizing debates, or we were the part of the debates at that time in the Physiology Hall, it was full. It was completely full. So I can see the 12 are the debaters, then probably 5, 6. At least one debater should come with the 5 friends, otherwise he should not be allowed to debate. So next time you should say that at least, I think you have I don't know how many enemies you have, how many friends you have, but I can imagine that at least 5 friends you can have. So at least 5 friends should accompany. हमारे यहाँ तो गाना भी जब गाते थे तो ये होता था कि भाई इसका गाना सपोर्ट कौन करेगा और हूटिंग कौन करेगा, तो उसमें भी ग्रुप बन जाता था, हम हूटिंग वाले हैं, हम सपोर्ट वाले हैं. तो गाने वाले को भी मन में डर रहता था कि यार अपने सपोर्टर ले चलो, नहीं तो हूटिंग वाले ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे, अगली बार पता नहीं हमको एंट्री मिले कि मिले या वाइल्ड एंट्री से भी गायब हो जाएं. So this is the second thing which I want to tell you. The third thing is, the topic is actually really worth for the debate. And before commenting on the topic, I'll give you the one example. 3 years back, you see, fortunately or unfortunately, head of department there is no head without headache. So every head of department has a lot of headaches, including me. So for last 11 years, fortunately or unfortunately, I am head of department of respiratory medicine. 3 years back, a girl came from Jaipur, And the very first day, one of my senior doctor from my chest fraternity called me, daughter so and so, this girl so and so is the daughter of my friend, please take care. I said, don't worry, ask her. She can meet me anytime, and my residence is also in the campus. She can come in my residence also. Any problem, tell me. Except one. What he said, what is one? I said that don't do anything regarding this. कि साहब काम बहुत करना पड़ता है. And my anticipation was very true. After 1 month, a lot of calls, they were coming to me from the various parts of the Rajasthan, not only the Jaipur. So many friends and colleagues from Rajasthan, they were calling me. डॉक्टर साहब आपके यहाँ काम बहुत करना पड़ता है, सो नहीं पाती है. So then I called my senior resident कि भाई ये अभी तो हमारे यहाँ एमडी में 15 रेजिडेंट आने वाले हैं, लेकिन उस समय 8 रेजिडेंट आते थे. तो मैंने कहा कि भाई ये 8 में बताओ क्या इस लड़की को तुम लोग ज़्यादा काम देते हो? कहा नहीं सर, ये तो बहुत कंफर्टेबल उसमें है, अभी इस बहुत ज़्यादा जो बिजी वार्ड है उसमें तो नहीं दी गई हो, बल्कि ये 2-4 लोगों को मतलब लिटरली वो कहते हैं ना गोली दे के भी भाग जाती है. तो मैंने कहा शी इज़ नॉट फिट फॉर दैट. तो मैंने अगली बार सलाह दी उनको कि आई थिंक शी नीड सम कूल टाइप ऑफ ब्रांच. एंड फाइनली कुछ मॉपअप टाइप का चल रहा था, एंड फाइनली शी जॉइंड द पैथोलॉजी. So there is two things. One thing that if you want to continue, that people should say that this is a noble profession. People want to say that this is the profession which we used to call as second God. People want to say that these are the people who work in any profession. में होता है आपका टाइम बढ़ रहा है तो वो जो पीपीटी है ना ऑफ कर दी जाती है. तो मुझे समझा नीचे से कोई ऑर्गेनाइजर ने ऑफ किया कि आपका सर टाइम ज़्यादा हो रहा है. सो अनदर थिंग इज अभी जो एक सर्वे हुआ है उसमें भी उन्होंने कहा कि मेडिकल प्रोफेशन जो है बहुत ज़्यादा डिफ़िकल्ट है, बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम कंज्यूमिंग है. 10 साल कोई नहीं पढ़ता किसी प्रोफेशन में. ये एक दिस इज वन एस्पेक्ट. अनदर एस्पेक्ट आप देखिए, देयर आर 5 करोड़ केसेस पेंडिंग इन द जुडिशरी, इन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट. वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग ऑफ अदर कोर्ट्स. एंड फर्स्ट टाइम लेटेस्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट जज ललित, उनका नाम क्या है, AU ललित या ऐसे कुछ है, ललित यू, उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं भाई थोड़ा सा जजेस को टाइम बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. और ही हिमसेल्फ ट्राइड, वो स्पेशल कोर्ट लगाते हैं, जज कोर्ट केसेस को डिस्पोज करने की कोशिश करते हैं. हमारे सामने भी यही प्रॉब्लम है कि हम ये कहें कि हमारे घंटे सीमित कर दीजिए तो हम ट्रेन नहीं हो पाएंगे किसी पैंडेमिक का सामना करने के लिए. अगर हमने आज अपनी आदत डाल ली सिर्फ और सिर्फ घंटे से काम करने की तो हम ट्रेन नहीं हो पाएंगे, हम कोप अप नहीं अपने को कर पाएंगे. फ्यूचर में कोविड जैसा कोई पैंडेमिक आया, ये हमने देखा है. आई वॉज द इंचार्ज ऑफ 1100 bedded COVID hospital in King George Medical University during the second wave. And from top to bottom, all administrative officials of the KGMU, they were COVID positive, including our Honorable Vice Chancellor. And most of the medicine people, most of the respiratory medicine people, most of the anesthesia people, they were also positive. When I asked my Vice Chancellor, sir, ये ड्यूटी कहाँ से लगाएं, डॉक्टर कहाँ से लाएं? कहता डॉक्टर सूर्यकांत, इट इज नॉट माई हेडेक, यू आर द इंचार्ज, यू हैव टू मैनेज. यू वोंट बिलीव, अब तो मैं कह ही सकता हूं, अब कोई मीडिया वाला लिखेगा भी तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. सो आई कॉल्ड द डेंटल पीपल. कैन यू इमेजिन कि दांत देखने वाले जो हैं वो कोरोना की ड्यूटी करें? कभी सुना है? कि एक मॉड्यूल उनको ट्रेनिंग दी और उनसे ड्यूटी करवा ली. एक प्रॉब्लम उठी, तीसरे दिन प्रॉब्लम क्या आई कि 500 नर्सेस हमारे पास भेज दी गई कि इनकी ड्यूटी लगाई है. उसके बाद मैटर सिस्टर सब चली आई, ज्योति को याद करेंगी, वो उसकी आईडीएच की बात है कि सर ये पता नहीं कहाँ से नर्सेस आ गई, इन्हें तो थर्मामीटर भी लगाने नहीं आता, इन्हें तो बीपी लेना नहीं आता, इन्हें तो ये भी नहीं आता, आप कह रहे हो। तो मैंने कहा बड़ी समस्या है। मैंने कहा बुलाओ 500 की 500 बुलाओ। मैंने कहा मैं उनका एक 5 मिनट का एड्रेस करूंगा। वो मेरा यूट्यूब पे है, 3 मिनट का है प्रोबेबली वीडियो, आप सर्च कर लीजिए, डॉक्टर सूर्यकांत एड्रेस फॉर दी पैरामेडिकल स्टाफ और नर्सिंग स्टाफ, ऐसे करके कुछ यूट्यूब पे पड़ा हुआ है। किसी रेजिडेंट ने रिकॉर्ड कर लिया था, फिर उसको उसने यूट्यूब पे डाल दिया। वो 3 मिनट की वीडियो में उनका मैंने सेंसिटाइजेशन किया। ये वर्कलोड पे ही, ओवरऑल डिबेट देखें तो वर्कलोड पे है, इसलिए मैं उसका एग्जाम्पल दे रहा हूँ। एक मैंने रेजिडेंट का दिया, दूसरा ये दे रहा हूँ। तो मैंने कहा देखो अस्पताल में आप सब काम करने वाले आए हैं, आप सबको काम आता नहीं है प्रैक्टिकली, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ जिस तरह से नर्सिंग पैरामेडिकल ट्रेनिंग होती है, सब लोग जानते हैं, वो ऐसे ही हो जाती है। और हमारे सामने समस्या थी कि हम किससे कहें कि इनको काम नहीं आता है। तो मैंने सिस्टर से ही कहा, मैट्रन से ही कहा, मैंने कहा देखो इनको पहले लगाओ, हर मरीज के पास ये 15-15 मिनट पे जाएं पल्स ऑक्सीमीटर लेके, बाबूजी तबीयत कैसी है, उंगली लाओ और बताएं। देखो बाबूजी आप आए थे 87% था, अभी आपकी रीडिंग पल्स ऑक्सीमीटर की 97 आ रही है, बढ़ गया 92 आ रही है, बढ़ गया 90 से ऊपर हो गया। डॉक्टर सूर्यकांत कहते हैं मैजिक नंबर ऑफ पल्स ऑक्सीमीटर इज 90, तो 90 से ऊपर आपका हो गया, अब आप कंफर्ट जोन में हैं। मैंने कहा कुछ काम मत करवाओ, बस 15-15 मिनट पे हर मरीज के पास भेजो, पूरी फौज इसी में लगा दूं। तो मैंने कहा अस्पताल की पहचान 2 चीजों से अब तक होती थी, क्या? एक सफाई और एक दवाई। अस्पताल में 2 चीजें हैं तो योर हॉस्पिटल इज परफेक्ट। मैं कहता हूं कि ज्यादा सफाई तो कम दवाई। तो मैंने कहा तीसरा इसमें जोड़ दो, सफाई, दवाई और सुनवाई। अब आपने सबने सुना होगा सफाई दवाई, सब जानते हैं, व्हाट इज सुनवाई? एनीबडी? अस्पताल में मरीज भर्ती होता है, उसकी एक ही प्रॉब्लम है, भर्ती तो हो गए साहब, सुनवाई नहीं है, मतलब कोई ढंग से हमें सुनता नहीं है। तो मैंने कहा हर इन नर्सेस को लगा दो, ये सुनवाई करें दिन भर, सुनवाई करें और धीरे धीरे इनको ट्रेन करो। तो 1 हफ्ते के अंदर वो सब, उनको कैथेटर डालना भी आ गया, कैनुला लाना भी आ गया, वगैरह वगैरह। लेकिन वो 1 हफ्ता बड़ा मुश्किल काम था कि आपने, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने तो कह दिया, रजिस्ट्रार साहब का, हमने तो आपको 5 नर्सें दी, आप कह रहे हो कि मैं अब उनसे कैसे कहें कि जो आपने दी वो तो कचरा है। खैर, इसी तरह ये टॉपिक भी बड़ा डिबेटल है। हमें ये ट्रेनिंग देनी पड़ेगी कि हम कैसे कोप अप कर पाएं अपने को ड्यूरिंग दी इमरजेंसी आवर्स, ड्यूरिंग दी पैंडेमिक। क्योंकि जिस तरह से एक किसी डिबेटर ने कहा था, मुझे नाम नहीं याद, बहुत अच्छा उसने एग्जाम्पल दिया था कि जब फौज खड़ी होती है बॉर्डर पे तो उसको भी ये ट्रेनिंग दी जाती है। वो कभी एक्सक्यूज नहीं करता कि हम घर नहीं जा पाए, हमारी नई शादी हुई है, पत्नी दूर रह रही है, वो कभी हमने नहीं कहा, दुख व्यक्त किया, और कभी हमने घंटे और एनवायरनमेंट, वर्किंग एनवायरनमेंट की बात नहीं की। लेकिन इसी तरह जिस तरह से कभी भी सरहद पे पोस्टेड फौजी को ज़रूरत पड़ सकती है लड़ाई लड़ने की, तब वहाँ घंटे नहीं गिने जाएंगे, टाइम नहीं गिना जाएगा, दिन, खाना पीना सोना कुछ भी नहीं गिना जाएगा। उसी तरह हमारी लाइफ में कभी भी ये इमरजेंसी आ सकती है। कल कोरोना था, भविष्य में कोई दूसरा रोना आ सकता है, कोई भी पेंडेमिक आ सकता है, और हमें फिर उसी तरह से काम करना पड़ सकता है। जैसे मैंने बताया ना, बाद में मैंने जब मीडिया वालों को बताया तो लोग बहुत हंसे, दांत के डॉक्टरों से भी आपने कोरोना की ड्यूटी करवा ली। क्या करता, सब पॉजिटिव थे, कोई है ही नहीं, सब उसमें आइसोलेशन में। तो ये एक पहलू इसका ये है कि आपको ट्रेंड होना पड़ेगा, ट्यून्ड होना पड़ेगा टू कोप अप दैट सिचुएशन। और वो कब होना पड़ेगा? वो कमिटमेंट चाहिए। अगर हम यही कहते रहे कि चाहे जो मजबूरी हो हमारे मांगे पूरी हो, हम ट्रेड यूनियन की तरह ये कहने लग जाएं कि नहीं 8 घंटे से ज़्यादा हम काम नहीं करेंगे, और ये थोड़ा सा हमें अनएथिकल लगता है। और एक बात, हम बीच के हैं, ये बात तो सही है। किसी ने एग्जाम्पल दिया माँ और बच्चे का कि भाई माँ तो 24 आवर्स कमिटेड रहती है बच्चे को, रात में 2 बजे उसको भूख लगी, रोया तो दूध पिलाएगी या खाना बनाएगी। आप अभी भी अपनी मम्मी को 3 बजे जगा के मम्मी भूख लगी है तो मम्मी 3 बजे खाना देगी। ये उनका कमिटमेंट है, मोरल कमिटमेंट है, एथिकल कमिटमेंट है। तो हमारा एक प्रोफेशन है जिसमें प्रोफेशन के बियॉन्ड भी बहुत कुछ है, ये हमें सोचना पड़ेगा। हाँ, ये बात भी सही है, इसको बैलेंस हमें थोड़ा बढ़ाना है, बनाते भी हैं। किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम है, जैसे मैंने उस लड़की के लिए क्या सलाह दी, मैंने कहा देखो भाई इनको कोई कूल ब्रांच दिलवाओ, ये कोप अप नहीं कर पा रही है, सब 8 में से सबसे कम ड्यूटी कर रही है और फिर भी शिकायत और सिफारिश कर रही है कि साहब हमारी ड्यूटी आवर्स कम करा दिए जाए. So she was not, you see, competent enough. Rather, her personality was, जैसे अभी डॉक्टर साहब ने कहा था कि भाई काउंसलिंग होना बहुत जरूरी है. मेरा भी मानना है केवल MCQ से आप ये कॉम्पिटेंट नहीं हो पाते हैं कि आप अच्छे डॉक्टर बनने के लिए, इमरजेंसी करने के लिए तैयार हो गए. MCQ से कैसे पता चलेगा कि आप जो हैं वो कॉम्पिटेंट हैं कि नहीं, आपकी पर्सनालिटी कैसी है. काउंसलिंग तो होना ही चाहिए. और कितना पापा का फोर्स है, पापा का नर्सिंग होम खड़ा है और पापा का नहीं, ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन बन के आओ. अरे हमारे हम तो ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन है, हम बच्चे को ऑर्थोपेडिक्स बनाएंगे. ये तो अच्छा ही है. मैं तो पल्मोनोलॉजिस्ट हूँ. जब मैंने बेटे से पूछा MBBS, जब उसने अभी जल्दी में पास किया, तो क्या बनना चाहोगे, तो उसने कहा साइकेट्रिस्ट. मैंने इतनी राहत की सांस ली, मैंने कहा थैंक्स गॉड इसने पल्मोनोलॉजिस्ट नहीं बोला. नहीं तो लोग कहते हैं कि डॉक्टर सूर्यकांत ने अपने बेटे पे डंडा चला दिया, जैसे वहाँ रेजिडेंट पे चलाते रहते हैं, कहे बेटा तुझे भी वही बनना है. तो मैंने उस दिन बहुत, अब हमारी श्रीमती जी नाराज, अरे ये अपनी ब्रांच में जाएगा तो ज़्यादा अच्छा रहेगा. मैंने कहा नहीं, बहुत अच्छा, अपनी ब्रांच में नहीं जाएगा तो वो पता नहीं अच्छा रहेगा कि नहीं, लेकिन मैं अच्छा नहीं रह पाऊंगा, इसलिए उसे रहने दीजिए, सेक्रेटरी में जाने दीजिए. तो इस तरह की बात है. टॉपिक बहुत अच्छा है. मैं सहमत हूँ कि ड्यूटी आपको करनी चाहिए, ज़रूरत पे ज़्यादा भी, लेकिन हाँ एक लिमिट के बाद आपको चैलेंज नहीं करना चाहिए. देखिए चैलेंज जब आप ज़्यादा करते हैं तो उसका आउटकम अच्छा नहीं होता है. तो आपकी जो कैपेसिटी है, आपकी जो कॉम्पिटेंस है, धीरे धीरे डेवलप होनी चाहिए. होता तो उल्टा है. JR3 को सबसे ज़्यादा काम करना चाहिए, JR1 सबसे ज़्यादा काम करता है. अब JR1 को आदत नहीं होती काम करने की, और JR3 को धीरे धीरे जब तक आदत पड़ती है तब तक ये डॉक्टर ज्योति कहती हैं सर ये तो JR3 हो गए, इन्हें पढ़ने दीजिए. तो ये समस्या भी है. इन समस्याओं का थोड़ा सा सोल्यूशन निकलना चाहिए. लेकिन एक चीज़ और, एक जो डिबेटियर ने कही बहुत अच्छी कही कि भाई मेडिकल सीट्स बढ़ा दीजिए. आप वर्कलोड को कम करिए ना. अब WHO कहता है कि डॉक्टर शुड डिवोट एटलीस्ट 20 मिनट्स फॉर ए पेशेंट. अब अगर हम 20 मिनट सबको लगाएं तो हमारी तो ट्यूसडे की OPD 4 बजे के बजाय सुबह 4 बजे चलेगी. हम लोग तो शाम के 4 बजे OPD खत्म कर पाते हैं अपनी, तो वो तो सुबह के 4 बजे तक चल जाएगी अगर 20 मिनट हर मरीज को दिया. तो ये भी एक अच्छा है कि भाई सीट्स बढ़ाए. एंड आई थिंक गवर्नमेंट इज डूइंग ऑल्सो. यू नो 160 new medical colleges, they have been increased in last 8 years. So that's a big achievement. 2014 के पहले केवल 8 एम्स थे, 8 एम्स, और अभी कितने हैं? 19 फंक्शनल है, 16 इन प्रोसेस है. तो हर चीज में आपको मालूम है 1956 में एम्स दिल्ली बना, और 1956 से लेके 2004 तक किसी ने सोचा ही नहीं कि एम्स और बनना चाहिए. तो फर्स्ट टाइम एट दैट टाइम सुषमा स्वराज वाज द हेल्थ मिनिस्टर एंड अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी वाज द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया, एंड दे डिसाइडेड टू open 6 new M's. So foundation stone of 6 new M was laid down in 2004. तो अब तो बहुत ही स्पीड पड़ ली है. लगभग 1 लाख के करीब MBBS की सीट्स हो गई हैं इस बार. अभी आप नया सीट मैट्रिक्स देखिए, काफ़ी बढ़ी रही हैं, और PG की भी सीट्स बढ़ रही हैं. सो आई थिंक आपके लिए, आप जब JR1 बनेंगे तो इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी, और आप जब JR2 JR3 जब बनेंगे तब तो और कंफर्ट जोन हो जाएगा. लेकिन ये जो ट्रेनिंग है कि कभी भी इमरजेंसी आ सकती है, कभी भी पैंडेमिक आ सकता है, और उसके लिए हम सबको तैयार रहना पड़ेगा. उसमें आप ना नहीं कह पाएंगे, उसमें आप ये नहीं कह पाएंगे कि टाइम बहुत ज़्यादा हमें देना पड़ रहा है. लेकिन ट्रेनिंग तो आपकी होनी चाहिए, इससे मैं सहमत हूँ. लेकिन हाँ, थोड़ा सा कंफर्ट भी मिलना चाहिए. लेकिन एक चीज़ और है, आप सोचिए कि आप कितना टाइम जो है वो क्लिनिकल वर्क को देते हैं और कितना गजेट्स को देते हैं, इसकी भी एनालिसिस होनी चाहिए. तो ऐसा मत करिए कि आप टाइम यहाँ से मांगें और गजेट्स में ज़्यादा निकालें, तो ये भी मत करिए. तो गजेट्स का भी टाइम थोड़ा सा निश्चित करिए. मैं तो देखा एक दिन रेजिडेंट मेरी क्लास में, तो मैंने डांट दिया. मैं लेक्चर ले रहा हूँ और वो व्हाट्सएप देख रहा है. तो मैंने कहा मोबाइल वहीं छोड़ और पीछे से यहाँ आगे बैठ और अपने सामने बिठा ला. मेरे ख्याल से यू वर विटनेस. तो ये कुछ चीज़ें हैं. अच्छा किया, बहुत अच्छा किया. मेरे ख्याल से आप लोग भी अपने इनपुट दीजिए.
आई थिंक गुरुजी ने जब बोल दिया तो हम लोग की कोई बोलने का कुछ, हम लोग की कोई हस्ती ही नहीं है बोलने की. So very well said, and I congratulate all the debaters here who have given their heart and soul while preparing this debate competition. They have done wonderfully, exceptionally well. They have really prepared very nicely. And the facts they have collected, somebody has, taken out some real instance. I got, actually, frankly speaking, I got goosebumps when this debate here, he spoke about the mother, who spends 24 hours a day for his or her kid. So that is one thing which is very much there. And congratulations to all of you. All are winners. It's not just a saying, but it is actually, I mean it from my heart that all are winners. But since we have to choose, I don't know how many, but even though first or second, but in my eyes, all are first and seconds. So congratulations and God bless you all.
Right, first of all, I'd like to invite all our judges on stage.
The most awaited part of your debate competition today. Everybody did so well. I personally feel I shouldn't be taking anybody's side. होना चाहिए, नहीं होना चाहिए. You know, it's so debatable. We all understand that. Being in the same profession, sometimes we feel overworked. All of us do. As faculty also, at times we feel we are overworked. We understand your point of view. But कभी-कभी हम time नहीं देंगे, तो काम रह जाते हैं, चीजें छूट जाती हैं. So we need to stay committed also. So the debate, I think, would continue further. There's no well-defined solution that would come to it. कि कम कर दें, बढ़ा दें. But to end the debate today and to announce the results, we'll begin with special mention award, and that's just one. This goes to any guesses. For होगा कि against होगा? कितना होगा? No? Okay. Against वाले का होगा. Okay. So, did Kritika speak against or for?
Kritika Gupta. 4. Okay. So the special mention award goes to Kritika. She spoke for the topic. The working hours should be reduced. Congratulations. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. That was just a debate. We still stay committed to our job. Now, the prize, there's one prize for and one for against. The most preferred one for and against. Now, category best against the topic. Okay. This goes to, any guesses? Any guesses? Okay. So this goes to Khushi. Khushi Bansal. Congratulations, Khushi. That was really good, Khushi. It was more difficult to speak against the topic and defend yourself. Clap harder. All right. That sounds good. Now the best.
The way you spoke, the poise of your, the kind of stability in your voice was very good, very good.
Even despite that stability and poise, that sounded so convincing. Sounded very convincing. Okay. Now the best 4. Okay. That was a perfect guess. Right. Shreya Palit. Right. Congratulations, Shreya. And congratulations to all the other participants. You all spoke really well. Really well. God doesn't take time off as doctors we can't. So we need to keep working all 24 hours a day.
देखिए ये रेस है और रेस में सस्टेनेबिलिटी बनानी पड़ती है पहले कदम से लेके आखिरी कदम तक. मैं कहूँगा कुछ लोग पहले कदम में बहुत अच्छे थे, कुछ दूसरे कदम में बहुत अच्छे थे, कुछ 10वें कदम में बहुत अच्छे थे और कुछ 99, 100 में बहुत अच्छे थे. लेकिन जो 1 से 100 तक बराबर अच्छा था, नेचुरली उसकी काउंटिंग, क्योंकि हम लोग 4-5 जजेस थे और अपने अपने परसेप्शन है, कोई कौन से उस पर अच्छा लगता है, किसी को कहीं लगता है. लेकिन मैं कहूँगा कि जितने 10 के 10 डिबेटियर थे, मुझे 2-3 के तो नाम भी याद आ रहे हैं, जिन्होंने बहुत अच्छा किया. हमें लगता है कि कहीं वो 50वें, 57वें या 59वें या उस कदम में थोड़ा बहुत कहीं इधर उधर हो गए होंगे, जिसकी वजह से उसके नंबर कम हो गए. लेकिन मैं 2 लोगों का नाम जरूर लूँगा जो मेरे परसेप्शन में है, यहाँ स्कोरिंग में भले ही ना आ पाए हों. एक वो लड़का है जिसने हिंदी में बोला, उसकी जो फैक्ट्स थे और उसका जो पॉइंट्स थे वो बहुत गजब के थे. इसने वो अलग बात है कि चलिए काउंटिंग में इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ नंबर्स, लेकिन उसने जो पॉइंट रखे थे बहुत अच्छे थे. और एक और लड़की जो मुझे याद आ रही है, उसने भी दुबे उसके नाम है, क्या नाम है उसका? आयुषी दुबे. कहाँ है? यस, आयुषी बेटा डोंट वरी, अगली डिबेट में आप बहुत आगे जाएंगे. थोड़ा सा बीच में कहीं जो रह गया है उसको देख लीजिए. लेकिन इसका भी जो प्रेजेंटेशन था वो बहुत अच्छा था. बहुत ही डिसेंसी के साथ इसने एक ही रिदम में फर्स्ट से लेके और लास्ट तक बहुत अच्छा बोला. अच्छे पॉइंट, ये 2 मुझे अच्छी तरह याद आ. 1-2 में सलाह दूंगा, बैठ जाइए. मैं नाम नहीं लूंगा, नाम ले सकता हूं लेकिन लूंगा नहीं. 1-2 में सलाह दूंगा कि लाउड होना अच्छी बात है, आप सबको अट्रैक्ट करते हैं, लेकिन अननेसेसरली लाउड होना अच्छी बात नहीं. और एक दो लोग अननेसेसरली लाउड हो गए, उनके कारण मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि उनके नंबर कम हो गए। समझ सब गए होंगे, लेकिन मेरा नाम लेना ठीक नहीं, मुझे याद भी नहीं। तो आप डिबेट में हमेशा याद रखिए, अपनी बात को लोगों तक पहुंचाना है। अट्रैक्शन के लिए थोड़ा सा लाउड होना पड़ता है, लेकिन अननेसेसरली लाउड ना। तो बहुत अच्छी डिबेट रही। आई रियली एंजॉयड आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग टाइम। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच।
What's pointed out in the last sounded so perfect. कभी कभी हम डिबेट करते वक्त ये भूल जाते हैं कि हम टॉपिक को डिबेट कर रहे हैं, हम सामने वाले इंसान से डिबेट करना शुरू कर देते हैं. You just debating with a point of view that the other person has. Na? You don't enter into a verbal debate with the person. It's just the point of view. तो वहीं तक थोड़ा सा confine रखेंगे तो you maintain the decency and decorum of what you are. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, सर ने बहुत अच्छी बात कही, वो यहाँ पे पोडियम पे अच्छा नहीं.
We'd now like to present the mementos to our respected judges who have taken out time from their extremely busy schedule and decided to judge this event. So first of all, Dr. Suryakant sir.
Hello. Hello.
Next we have Dr.
Right, so what is pseudo-feminism actually? Pseudo-feminism is basically one of the basic and the most commonly used, misused concepts which we see today, right? Because feminism itself is a movement which is gathering more and more popularity, which is gathering more and more momentum. And now there are always some set of people, some section of people who will misuse this. For example, there is the use of rights and then there's a misuse of rights. So pseudo-feminism is a very perfect and a very global example as to how rights are being misused. And there are measures to tackle this, but they are being proven non-challenged because of the very reason that feminism is a movement which the opposites of feminism they are looked down upon. So this is the reason why pseudo-feminism is a movement which is really gathering more and more momentum. And I think this is one of the most relevant problems that we have in the 22nd century as well as the 21st century. So this is something which all of us need to think about.
Next is Aryan Arora.
यहाँ पे उपस्थित सभी अतिथिगण को मेरा नमस्कार। मैं आर्यन अरोड़ा, चिकित्सा स्नातक एवं शल्य चिकित्सा स्नातक का द्वितीय वर्ष का विद्यार्थी आप सबके समक्ष एक्सटेम्पोरे प्रस्तुत करने जा रहा हूँ। मेरे एक्सटेम्पोरे का टॉपिक है डू वी नीड एंटरप्रेन्योर्स और मैनेजर्स। व्हेन आई सी माई सेल्फ इन द मिरर, जब मैं अपने आप को शीशे में देखता हूँ, आई पोर्ट्रेट माई सेल्फ एज अ कॉन्फिडेंट मैन, बिकॉज फॉर मी कॉन्फिडेंस इज एवरीथिंग. So if I talk about myself, I consider myself to be entrepreneur because I consider myself to be entrepreneur who can start anything in the world, because I only need confidence, I only need a plan to start that. So for me, I need managers only because I can deal with the entire company by myself with the help of my managers, with the help of my mind, with their mixed emotions, with their mixed thoughts. And when I talk about the country, our country needs entrepreneurs as well as managers both, because both are equally important for the welfare and the development of the entire nation. Thank you.
Good afternoon all. My topic for the day is hockey or cricket, the national game of India. So I would like to use a quote by Hon'ble. He said, "No pain, no balm, no thorn, no throne, no gall, no glory, no cross, no crown." So, my dear friends, I would like to emphasize on the truth of life, that in order to achieve crown, throne and glory, you need to undergo pain. And similar is the case with this, whether it's cricket or hockey, both are equally important. Every time, bleeding blue is not the solution. I mean, every time, being a cricket fan is not a solution. Hockey is indeed a good game, and hockey, of course, is the national game of India, and I think that being with what we have, following our individuality is what we should owe, and this is what I propose, that hockey should indeed be the national game of our country. Thank you so much.
मूल्यांकन के लिए बैठे सभी सम्मानित शिक्षकगण, मेरे प्यारे भाई एवं बहनों, मैं रविराज प्रथम वर्ष का छात्र। मेरा एक्सटेम्परी का जो टॉपिक है वो इंडियन मीडिया है, यानी भारतीय संचार। हमारे देश में संचार के माध्यमों को देश का चौथा स्तंभ कहा जाता है, यानी लोकतंत्र का चौथा स्तंभ। लोकतंत्र में मेनली हमारा जो होता है, हमारे द्वारा चुने गए सरकार होती है, लेकिन उसमें मेनली जो कुछ खास वर्गों को फायदा दिया जाता है और कुछ खास वर्गों को छोड़ दिया जाता है। तो उन खास एक जो निम्न वर्ग होते हैं, एक दबे कुचले वर्ग होते हैं, उनकी आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का एक जरिया होता है, एक माध्यम होता है मीडिया। हालांकि आज के दिन में बहुत सारे आरोप प्रत्यारोप लगते रहते हैं मीडिया के ऊपर कि वो किसी एक पार्टिकुलर पार्टी या किसी पार्टिकुलर दल के हैं, लेकिन अगर मेरा मानना है कि मीडिया किसी दल का ना होकर के सारे लोगों की होती है, वो हमारे बातों को सरकार के तक पहुंचाती है, और सरकार के जो नियम, जो कानून होते हैं, जो फायदे होते हैं, वो हमारे तक पहुंचाती है। धन्यवाद।
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ayush Gupta from MBBS batch 2021. The topic for my extempore is capital punishment versus life imprisonment. Capital punishment is also called death penalty. So, for crimes which are as serious as rapes, murders, or it can go any deep, the Supreme Court or High Court, they choose life imprisonment or capital punishment. I support more for life imprisonment, but in some cases, capital punishment is very much required. For example, gang rapes. I do think that life imprisonment will do nothing it will do nothing justice to that girl who went through the pain. But for some, I think life imprisonment is important for the improvement of that person, for the person who did all the crimes. Thank you so much.
Next is Ayushi Dubey.
So my topic for today is work from home, pros and cons of work from home. So first of all, I just want to state one thing, that there isn't anything in this world that is absolute. There are extremes of each and everything. There isn't anything that is absolutely right or absolutely wrong. So in the same way, there are pros and cons of each and everything. Like there are certain advantages of working from home. Like if someone is working from home, he can adjust his routine the way he can. He does not have to travel each and every place. So his life is somewhat in a more comfortable way. He can execute his time at any particular point of time, 24/7. However, if I say that someone who is going out, he is in some or the other way living a very disciplined life. So the discipline is one major factor that is hindered when we work from home. So this is what all I want to say about pros and cons of work from home. Thank you.
Next is Dr. Vishika Singh, ma'am.
Good morning, members of jury. I'm so sorry. Good afternoon, members of jury. Myself, Dr. Vishika Singh. And topic for the extempore is Namaste. Be it Namaste, be it Hola, be it good morning or good afternoon, it doesn't matter. What we are trying to deliver here is that we respect the person in front of us. Namaste is our culture. Other cultures might have something else. But what is important is we are respecting the other person by bowing down a little. That's what our Asian culture is all about. Or even if we are shaking our handshake, if we are having a handshake or anything else like that, it's just another way of saying that I respect you and thank you.
Next is Shashwat Agarwal.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my topic for extempore is, are cheetahs really in the need of the time? So you all have heard the recent news that Prime Minister on his birthday gifted our country by bringing in cheetahs from Namibia, a species that has gone extinct almost, which was declared extinct in India in 1948. And they have been brought back from Namibia and rehabilitated in the Kuno National Park in the Gwalior. So the question is, are cheetah, when the news came, I was watching the news and I was on that anchors were debating whether they are necessary or not. Fundamentally, since we are students of biology, I'd like to go on the ecosystem biology, and cheetahs are the top apex predators, and like we have studied in our 12th class also, that they help in maintaining species diversity, they prevent interspecific competition among the herbivore species, and are one of the key systems which help in ecosystem health, furthering the biodiversity. And if biodiversity is furthered, all the ecosystem functions well, and which in turn will benefit us also as humans. Thank you.
Next is Sudhanshu Singh from Motilal Nehru Medical College, Prayagraj.
Hello everyone, myself Sudhanshu Singh. My topic for today is myself Sudhanshu Singh from Motilal Nehru Medical College, Prayagraj, second year student. My topic for presentation is infinite. So what do we think when you see the kind of possibilities you have? Generally we think that we have this so and so number of possibilities. Just think of the one thing, a person is seeing from the mirror and there is dust on that mirror and he's saying that the clothes of the opposite person that are not clean. So it is because his point of view is finite. If he cleans that dust, then there is definitely an aura of possibilities, aura of infinite possibilities. Even today, if we look, students are taking just going after doctors and engineers. But if you look, there are so much things that have opened, biotechnology and so much of things. So just what we need to increase, we need to experiment ourselves and just think that there are lot number of possibilities. Just open our eyes to each and everything. Be aware about everything, and success will definitely open to you. So look at that. Thank you.
Next is Ayush Parekh, the last participant.
यहाँ सभी जो आदरणीय जन यहाँ पर हैं उनको सबको मेरा नमस्कार। मैं हिंद इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मेडिकल साइंसेज बाराबंकी से हूँ, फर्स्ट ईयर का छात्र हूँ मैं। मेरा जो टॉपिक है मेक इन इंडिया वर्सेस मेक फॉर इंडिया, यानी कि भारत में निर्माण और उसके बजाय भारत के लिए निर्माण। जैसा कि आप सबको पता होगा कि 4-5 साल पहले जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री हैं उन्होंने मेक इन इंडिया का जो है प्रोग्राम उसको स्टार्ट किया था। मेन उसका मूल कारण ये था कि हमारे भारत में बहुत सारे रिसोर्सेज हैं, अनंत रिसोर्सेज हैं, लेकिन उसके बाद भी क्या किया जा रहा है कि हम लोग इन्हें बाहर एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं, वहाँ से वो लोग मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं और यहाँ बेचते हैं। हमारे पास बहुत सारा टैलेंट है, इंडिया के डॉक्टर्स, इंडिया के इंजीनियर्स बाहर जाते हैं, काम करते हैं और वहाँ पे एक्सीलेंस उनका वो लोग मानते हैं। तो क्यों ना हम यहाँ पर बेस्ट चीज़ को बनाएं, इसकी शुरुआत उन्होंने की थी। ये हम MSME लेवल पर स्टार्ट करना चाहिए। छोटी छोटी चीज़ लोग घर में बना रहे हैं, छोटी छोटी चीज़ों का निर्माण कर रहे हैं, स्मॉल फैक्ट्रीज डेवलप कर रहे हैं। उसी से मुझे लगता है कि देश का एक बड़े मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब के रूप में निर्माण स्टार्ट होगा। चाइना जैसे देशों से हमें इंस्पिरेशन लेनी चाहिए, जहां वो लोग हर चीज़ मैन्युफैक्चर करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। अभी कुछ दिनों पहले जब मालूम पड़ा,
टाइम्स अप।
थैंक यू।
We have one more entry, Shreya Palit.
Good afternoon, respected jury members and my friends. Myself, Shreya Palit from MBBS 2020. And my topic for today is work-life balance a myth? I am so glad that I have got this topic because the medical profession is something that demands so much from the work-life balance. So I believe the greater number of hours devoted in the medical profession that I have just debated on was another aspect of this work-life balance. I think this is something that we must be taught, and we are taught. Our professors, our resident teachers teach us from the very first year that we have to maintain a balance between extracurricular activities, our family life, and our studies, and our clinical exposure, and yet be the best in whatever we are doing. Now here a very beautiful quote comes to my mind. I slept and dreamt, by Kavi Guru Ravindranath Tagore. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold that service was joy. So this is the guiding principle that we live by in the medical profession.
Time's
and
up.
in this service, we should definitely not give up our personal life. Thank you so much.
Next is Shikha Gogalia.
हेलो, नमस्कार। मेरा नाम शिखा गोगालिया है। मैं MBBS 2020 वर्ष की छात्रा हूँ। मेरा एक्सटेम्पररी का टॉपिक ऑप्टिमिज्म, आशावाद। हमेशा एक अच्छाई की तरफ देखना, हर समय अच्छाई में या आशा की किरण। जब हम घने अंधेरे में फंसे हों तब भी हमें एक रोशनी नज़र आ रही हो जो हमें लेके जा रही हो एक ऐसी जगह जहाँ हमें पता है कि सब कुछ अच्छा होगा। उम्मीद, ये उम्मीद ही है जो हमें इस समय जीने की प्रेरणा देती है। जो इंसान आशावाद होते हैं उन्हें आज के समय में सब लोग पसंद करते हैं, और कहीं ना कहीं एक आशावादी इंसान की सबको जरूरत भी होती है अपनी जिंदगी में। अगर हम हर चीज में आशा देखें, हर गलत काम होते होते हर गलत समय में भी हमारे पास उम्मीद हो कि हाँ सब ठीक हो जाएगा, एक ऐसी उम्मीद ही हमें एक अच्छी जिंदगी की तरफ लेके जाती है। धन्यवाद।
Anybody from the audience wants to participate in extempore? Give it a try. What's your name? Rishabh Dudeja. Rishabh. I'm Rishabh Dudeja.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Rishabh Dudeja from Hind Institute of Medical Sciences, Barabanki. My topic for extempore is social media is making us unsocial. Yes, do I agree that social media is making us very much unsocial? I can see many of you still here are using your Instagram and Snapchat, etc. Many of my friends, as Suryakant sir pointed out, that in his class also many students are busy surfing their browsers or busy on their phones. So yes, social media is making life very much unsocial. Whatever happens, people are busy just posting on their, giving an update to, I don't know who they are updating to. People just are gonna swipe through your stories and it just doesn't matter. I think we should all go on a dopamine detox, which will basically help in your studies also, and it will make your life much more fruitful also, as there's no such purpose, and the talks of metaverse going around, that everything is going to be digitized. I think for once you can enjoy the sunset without capturing it. Thank you.
A big round of applause.
प्राइस पर लेंगे relationship. A lesbian gay relationship is a expression of love. प्यार की कोई परिभाषा नहीं होती है. I fully agree कि क्यों लड़के लड़का प्यार कर नहीं सकता, क्यों लड़की लड़की प्यार नहीं कर सकती, क्यों हमेशा प्यार लड़का और लड़की में ही होना चाहिए. It's a expression of love. We should all forbid यार. ये एक हार्मोनल टेंडेंसी है, जन्मजात पैदा की हुई चीज है. जो इमोशंस है वो, आई बीइंग अ न्यूरोसर्जन, मुझे पता है इमोशंस ब्रेन में डेवलप होते हैं और एक बार जो डेवलप हो गया वो हो गया. तो क्यों हम समाज लोग इस चीज को नहीं एग्री करते हैं? वाई वी फॉरवर्ड के नहीं, लड़के लड़के में रिलेशन नहीं हो सकता, लड़की लड़की में कोई रिलेशन नहीं हो सकता. तो वी शुड थिंक फॉरवर्ड और इसको आगे बढ़ाना चाहिए कि लड़के लड़के और लड़की लड़की इज अ एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ लव. दिस इज अ एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग, इज नॉट ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ मेल फीमेल साइकोलॉजी. इट्स अ एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग. थैंक यू.
Anybody else wants to try?
Good afternoon, all of you. And my topic is Twin Tower demolition. And we all know it was a very, very much popular on social media nowadays that Twin Towers is being demolished. And people have had many, opinions about it, like is it good or not. But what I can say is that the tower was made on the land which was not earlier allotted, and it was a land for the garden which was being made for the view of other buildings around it, and it was not legally passed. So for me, commenting on this topic, I would surely agree with Supreme Court decision that the Twin Tower demolition was in the favor of people, and thank you very much.
Present here, myself, Dr.Chhitij, Vajpayee, Assistant Professor in Department of Respiratory Medicine. My topic is reservation. So I would like to say, मैं कुछ ही बातें इस बारे में बोलना चाहूँगी. आई एम नॉट वेल वर्स विद द टॉपिक रिजर्वेशन. सो आई थिंक रिजर्वेशन होना चाहिए, डेफिनेटली होना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमारे समाज में कुछ ऐसे वर्ग हैं जिनको इसकी आवश्यकता है. जहाँ पर जैसा कि पहले भी पुराने ज़माने से चला आ रहा है कि हमारा समाज जो 4 वर्गों में विभाजित था, तो उस हिसाब से कुछ प्रायोरिटीज़ कुछ वर्ग को नहीं मिल पाई. सो मैं इस फेवर में हूँ कि जो वर्ग, मैं ये कास्टिज्म के बारे में नहीं कहना चाहूँगी कि कास्ट बेस्ड रिजर्वेशन होना चाहिए, बट मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि रिजर्वेशन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ पावर्टी, रिजर्वेशन ऑन द हु आर डिप्राइव्ड इन द दोज थिंग्स जो उनको नहीं मिल पा रही है. एजुकेशन में रिजर्वेशन होना चाहिए, जो बच्चे पढ़ नहीं पा रहे हैं ड्यू टू द मनी प्रॉब्लम्स, तो उस वर्ग को हमें रिजर्वेशन देना चाहिए. जो हमारा ट्राइबल एरियाज हैं, उड़ीसा में देयर आर वेरी ट्राइबल एरियाज जहाँ पे
अभी भी फैसिलिटीज़ अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो उस वर्ग को रिजर्वेशन मिलना चाहिए। तो रिजर्वेशन होना चाहिए, बट उसका बेसिस थोड़ा डिफरेंट होना चाहिए। जो पिछड़े हुए लोग हैं, ठीक है, रिजर्वेशन बहुत पहले स्टार्ट किया गया था। आई थिंक आई एम फेवर ऑफ रिजर्वेशन, बट द क्राइटेरिया शुड बी चेंज। दिस इज माई व्यू ऑन दिस टॉपिक। थैंक यू सो मच।
Please be seated. We have certificates for you.
अच्छा, इनको ये अच्छा बोला था, कितने लोग बोलते हैं कि ये अच्छा बोला था? ठीक है, जो बोलते हैं दोनों में कमेटी है, जो बोलते हैं ये अच्छा बोला था, खड़े हो जाए। सिलेक्शन बायस हो रहा है, खड़े हो जाए। जो बोलते हैं बैच वाइज सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा। जजेस, ऑर्गेनाइजर्स, ये दोनों अच्छा बोले थे? नहीं, बोले थे अच्छा बोले थे। इसको वेरी वेल, ओनली दोनों के लिए कैश प्राइज है, ठीक है ना, सौरभ बॉस की तरफ से 500 रुपीज दोनों बांट लेना, ठीक है। फोटो खींचे। अरे वाह,
I would like to congratulate all the participants who had participated in this Extempore program, and the organizing team also behind them who have done their endeavors. And without wasting any of your time, and may the best person win. I'll announce the third prize first for the Extempore. It goes to Shashwat Agarwal, who has put third in the please. All the students are requested to give a huge round of applause for them. Congratulations, Shashwat. What was your topic? The second prize in the Extempore goes to Khushi Bansal. Please, big round of applause for her. This is the, congratulations Khushi, this is the second prize for her today in the Literary Fest.
Hockey or cricket, which will be the Indian national game?
Well done. Congratulations. Without wasting any further time, now the time has arrived to announce the winner for the program. And the first prize goes to, please start clapping, it is to Ayush Dubey, who has stood first in the program today. Huge round of applause for her. Well deserved. Welcome Ayushi. Please take your award. Congratulations to you. What was your topic? Work from pros and cons of work from home. Good. So with this, I probably assume that, okay, the organizers want all students should come for the group photographs. Okay. The memento is being presented to Dr. Patron, who participated here as the judge for this particular event. All the participants, please step forth and come up on the dais so that you may be clicked for a group photograph.
which you can treasure for your lifetime as a memory.
I'll tell the rules. So 8 teams are selected. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So this will be MCQ based round. 5 questions will be asked from each team, and you'll get 10 seconds to answer that. And we'll be selecting top 5 teams for the next round, which will be an image based round. Points बता दो.
Points, which points?
10 points.
Points 1 point से रहेंगे.
अरे 10 और passing का? Passing नहीं.
Passing नहीं तो passing नहीं.
Okay, so there are no passing in this round, and you'll get 10 marks for each right answer, and there's no negative marking. Yes, sir. इसमें मेरे
Team 1, 2, 3 क्या है? ABCD नहीं बोल दो. Team 1.
अरे ठीक. So let's begin with team 1. First question. What was the name of the person whom Bhim killed as Ballav the cook during exile? Right answer. Next. Who was the commander-in-chief of the Pandav's army? Correct. ये
चल रहा है कि नहीं?
Who was the mother of Kapil Muni? Time's up. Next question. So the answer was Devuti. Who fight Vaishnavastra towards Arjun in Mahabharata? Shailya, Narkasur, Bhagdat, Bajradat.
Shalya.
Wrong answer. It is Vagdat. Rishi who are experts in Rig Veda were known as Hotri, Advaryu, Udgatri, Vaidya.
Udgatri.
Wrong answer. It's Hotri. So 20 points. Team B. Who was the spiritual father of Abhimanyu? Arjun, Chandra, Surya, Krishna.
Arjun.
Wrong answer, it's Chandra. Next question. Who built Indraprastha? Vishwakarma, Krishna, Dhanvantri, Indra.
Vishwakarma.
Right answer. Which of the following is not a name of Indrajit? Meghnad, Ghananad, Shankhanad, Varidanad.
D.
Wrong answer, it's Shankhanad. What marks the celebration of Durga Puja on earth? Return of Durga only to the earth, Durga and Shiva to the earth, Durga and sons to the earth, Durga, sons and daughters to the earth.
B. B.
Wrong answer is Durga, sons and daughters to the earth. From whom did Rahu and Ketu derive? Swar Bhanu, Karna Bhanu, Nasika Bhanu, Gaj Bhanu.
C.
Wrong answer, it's Swar Bhanu. So 10 points to team B. Let's move on to team C. Ram was the ruler of which Mahajanapada? Koshala, Ayodhya, Kuru, Panchala.
B. Ayodhya.
Wrong answer is the capital. Mahajanapada is Koshala. Who is Indra's mother? Diti, Aditi, Sandhya, Danu.
Aditi.
Right answer. Who among the following are not member of Panchakanya? Ahalya, Draupadi, Tara, Gandhari.
Tara.
Wrong answer is Gandhari. Who was Indraprastha's king after the Kurukshetra war? Yuyutsu, Drishtadyum, Satyajit, Parikshit.
Parikshit.
Wrong answer is Yuyutsu. Who killed Sahasra Ravan in Ramayana? Ram, Hanuman, Lakshman, Sita.
Sita.
Right answer? It's 20 points. Moving on to team D. Dushala was married to the king of which state? Sindhu, Magad, Panchal, Kunti Bhoj.
Magad.
Wrong answer is Sindhu. Who gifted Ma Durga her lion? Indra, Himavan, Dakshraj, Kalbhairav.
Himavan.
Right answer. Which of the following is the wrong match of spiritual brothers? Arjun with Vali, Yudhishthir with Shatrughan, Karna with Sugriv, Bhim with Hanuman.
Karna and Sugriv.
Wrong answer is Yudhishthir and Shatrughan. From which Veda did the 8 forms of the Hindu marriage get derived? Rig Ved, Atharva Ved, Sham Ved, Yajur Ved.
Atharva.
Right answer. Whom did Sukdev narrate the Srimad Bhagavad Puran? Janmejay, Arjun, Parikshit. Right answer. 30 points. Team E. Who is considered as brother of goddess Parvati? Brahma, Agni,
Vishnu.
Right answer. Bhishma was incarnation of which Vasu? 5, 6, 7, 8.
Six.
Wrong answer is 8. Shvetvahan, Vivatsu, Savya Shachin, Jishnu. All are names of which of the following persons? Vishnu, Krishna, Arjun, Indra.
Indra.
Wrong answer is Arjun. Which of the following Vedic literature refers to sit near the feet of Vedangas, Upanishads, Purans, Gita?
A option.
Thanks, sir. As it is wrong. Was Upanishad. What was the name of Arjun's conch shell? Ananta, Devdatta, Shughosh, Shashank.
Devdatta.
Right answer. It's 20. Next to team F. Who was the king of Lanka before Ravan? Ahiravan, Nal Kuber, Sahasra Ravan.
Kuber.
Right answer. Urmila, the wife of Lakshman, was known to be the incarnation of
Rati.
Lakshmi, Usha, Rati, Varuni.
Rati.
It's Varuni, wrong answer. By which custom Ravan and Mandodari were married? Asuri Viva, Rakshas Viva, Brahma Viva, Gandharv Viva.
D.
Yeah, it's right, Gandharv Viva. Who was responsible for the death of Abhimanyu in the Chakravyuh incident of the Mahabharata according to Arjun? Karn?
Jayadratha.
Duryodhana? Right, it's Jayadratha. What was the name of Nakul in Agyadvas in Matsya kingdom during exile? Kank, Granthika, Tantipal, Satanika.
Kang.
No. How much? How much? So they get 30 points. Next is team G. Who killed Shalya in Mahabharata? Arjun.
Arjuna.
Wrong, it's Yudhishthir. Who was the king of Ayodhya after Ram? Kush, Lav, Shatrughan, Chandraketu.
Love.
Wrong answer is Kush. Who cut the 5th head of Brahma? Shiva, Vishnu, Indra, Devi Adi Parashakti.
Shiva.
Right. Who was the last commander-in-chief of Kaurav army in Mahabharata? Kripacharya, Duryodhan, Ashwathama, Dushasana.
Ashwathama.
Right. What was the name of Shiva's Tandav after Sati's death? Shiv Tandav, Shakti Tandav, Mahatandav, Rudra Tandav.
Rudra Tandav.
Right. So they again get 30 points. Last team H. Who is considered as a son of God Hanuman? Angad, Matsya Dhwaj, Makar Dhwaj, Vanar Dhwaj.
Matsya Dhwaj.
Wrong, it's Makar Dhwaj. Who among the following is not an incarnation of Jaya and Vijay? Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, Ravan and Kumbhakaran, Shishupal and Dantavakra, Shishupal and Jarasandha.
Shishupal and Jarasan.
Right answer. Who was the where was the Lakshagriha where Pandav was believed to be burned situated? Varnavrat, Hastinapur, Kampilya Nagari, Adhichatra.
Varnavrat.
Right answer. Who was the son of Chitrangada, wife of Arjun? Shrutakarma, Iravan, Babru Bahan, Abhimanyu.
Babruvahan.
Right answer. Which of the following is not a Upanishad? Katha, Prashna, Uttar, Kena.
Kena.
Wrong, it's Uttar. Tiebreaker. Okay. So we need to have a tiebreaker between teams 1, 3, 5. Please come up. 1, 3 and 5. So, come. अच्छा ठीक है. Whoever answers it first will go through for the first team. कितना चाहिए हम लोग को? और? हाँ ठीक है. ठीक है. Where Pandav stayed during the exile? Dandavavan, Kamakyavan, Hansakutta, Kandav forest. Teams out. Wrong answer नहीं दे सकते.
उन्होंने आंसर ही नहीं करा तो वो टाइम अप हो.
Wrong answer नहीं कर सकता.
उन्होंने आंसर भी नहीं किया.
ठीक है. Okay, we'll give you one more chance. Okay, we'll give one more.
नहीं wrong answer कैसे हो जाएंगे ना ऐसे ही तो एक एक क्वेश्चन है.
ठीक है. So for team 1, who was the king of Vanga during Kurukshetra war? Samudra Sen Chandrasen, Agni Sen Chandrasen, Satyajit, Chandrajit. Right answer. Team 3. Who was Vidur's mother? Ambika, Parashrami, Ambalika, Satyavati. Please don't prompt the answer. Right answer. Who was the father of Markandeya Rishi? Mrikandu, Brigu, Sanat Kumar, Vashishta.
Option A.
Right answer. So one more round. Now it will be who answers the first and galat answer was out. In Mahabharata, Yuyutsu was the half brother of option A, Pandavas, option B, Kauravas, option 3, Yadavas, option 4, Vangas. Kauravas. Right, and that's good. Yeah. Rest are requested to please get down from the stage. हो गया ना? Team 1 has. Okay, so Team 1, Team 4, Team 6, Team 7, Team 8. बस थोड़े से जरा No, round 2.
ये तुम स्कोरिंग और वो करना ठीक है. ये आगे ये करना है ना आगे से ये वाला स्लाइड. Okay, so the rules for round 2 are
ऐसे ही करते हैं। राहुल अटक क्यों रहा है? इधर हो रहा है, इधर नहीं हो रहा। एक मिनट कर लो।
This round is image based. 3 questions will be asked to each team. Time allotted will be 10 seconds for each question. In case of a wrong answer, 1 attempt only, and an unanswered question will be passed to next team. 5 seconds will be allotted to next team. Question will not be passed further. Marks of this round will be added to round 3 for final results. Okay, now team 1, team 2, team 3, team 4, team 5. Question for team 1. What is the name of the conch shell? Right answer. Second question. What is the order of this incarnation of Lord Vishnu in Dasha Avatar? Third. Right answer. What is the name of this divine? Right answer. For team 2. Okay. Who is the Rishi sage shown in the image? Time.
Time's up. Right answer.
Right answer. Who is the angel shown in the image? Wrong answer.
Wrong answer.
Menika. What is the name of the bow here?
Time's up.
Oh.
आंसर बोलिए।
इसका नहीं बोला है, इसका नहीं बोला है। हाँ, पास। 5 seconds only.
पास
नहीं, बस team 1 पास only. Sharam. Question for the team 3. What is the name of the mountain shown in the image?
Time's up.
Pass. Right answer. Next question. Who is the lady feeding these 3 children in the image? Pass. Right answer.
But you're over.
उनका कौन सा है? सही है। नहीं, उनका है। उनमें ऐड कर दूँगा। Next question. Which incarnation of Lord Shiva seen in the image? Pass. Sharab.
Team 4.
Whose head is seen in this image? Right answer. Name the person in the image believed to be incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Right answer. The weapon shown in the image is made up of bones of which rishi? Right answer. Question for the team 5. Which demon is shown in the image killed by Ram and Lakshman? Pass. Wrong answer. Kabandh. Name the lady who is killed in this image. Name the lady. Renuka. Who is the boy in the image hugging Shivling? Pass. Markandeya. नहीं टाइब्रेकर टॉप 4 सिलेक्ट करना होगा हाँ
Team 1, Team 2, Team 3, Team 4, Team 5 will.
लो लो मैं संभालती हूँ तुम बोलो
स्लाइड्स में नहीं हो रहा
मुझे नहीं
magical arrows which I believe could have ended the Kurukshetra. Right answer. Team 4, I am the father of Siddha medicine. I had drunk of a whole ocean to save the Devtas from Kalkeya death fears.
राइट आंसर
Right answer, 5 points. Accumulate करो. I is also a Krishna. Krishna. My brother is Krishna. Right answer.
वापस यहाँ
Very well conducted mythology quiz, and I congratulate on behalf of all the jury members or all the judges to all the participants who participated in this very tough mythology quiz. So the questions was very tough for me and I think all the judges also. So but all teams performed very well. So congratulations to all the teams who have participated, and now the time has come to announce the winners of this quiz. So I would request Dr. Arpit sir to announce the name of the students.
S. Tiwari
And his team.
and his team. Second prize goes to Shashwat Agrawal and Nikhil. And the first prize goes to Vishwas Agarwal and Nayan Singh. Thank you, organizers.
Who is a event volunteer. So I would like to ask Dr. Arpit sir to present this memento to Mahima. Shubham and
Harshit and Abhaywardhan, Shubh and Abhishek Gupta, Ved
एक सीट का गैप कर लीजिए.
We'd like to welcome Dr. Monica Agarwal ma'am, Professor and Head Department of Community Medicine and Public Health.
Vedang and Abhishek, Vedang and Abhishek, Nitish and Abhishek,
ठीक है, इसमें 30 क्वेश्चंस हैं, नहीं 20 मिनट का है, उसमें आपको अपना नाम भी लिखना है, ईमेल आईडी भी लिखनी है, और 20 मिनट टोटल टाइम है, 30 क्वेश्चंस हैं, नेगेटिव मार्किंग नहीं है, टॉप 8 टीम्स चुनी जाएंगी इसके बाद, वो भी अगर जैसे टाई होता है तो उसका टाइमिंग क्राइटेरिया जो जल्दी सबमिट करेगा वो माना जाएगा। रूल्स क्लियर हैं? जल्दी आओ। और कोई है जिसका व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप अभी ज्वाइन करना बाकी है? टीम्स अपने बीच में एक एक सीट का गैप कर लीजिए प्लीज। और किसी भी एक टीम में से सिर्फ एक जने को फॉर्म भरना है, ये नहीं है कि दोनों लोग फॉर्म भरें अपना, ठीक है? क्लियर है? लिंक भेज दिया है। चले जाएं प्लीज। अभिनव शुक्ला एंड टीम, अभिनव ठीक है, फिर उत्कर्ष, मुझे खुद नहीं समझ में आ रहा ना। हाँ, विश्वास अग्रवाल बॉस, ठीक है, विश्वास अग्रवाल बॉस, वैभव एंड अर्पित बॉस, सक्षम कुमार बरनवाल, प्रियांशु, राजवर्धन बॉस, वेदांग वत्सल, क्या? नहीं 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 नहीं
I would request all the qualifying teams to come on the stage.
ठीक है, 10 सेकंड की ऑडियो या वो चलेगा, उसमें आपको आंसर कर देना है 15 सेकंड्स के अंदर। उसके बाद जो आंसर करेगा वो माना नहीं जाएगा, कोई नेगेटिव मार्किंग है नहीं। ठीक है, क्लियर? किसी को कोई डाउट? पासिंग नहीं होगा। ठीक है, जो आंसर नहीं कर पाएगा तो ऑडियंस के पास ऑप्शन है, वो आंसर कर सकती है, उससे पहले कोई आंसर नहीं करेगा। ठीक है, गॉट इट? तो तीन क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाएंगे 15 सेकंड के, 10 सेकंड की ऑडियो या वो होगी, उसमें आंसर कर देना आपको 15 सेकंड में, नेगेटिव मार्किंग नहीं है। ये ऑडियो चल नहीं रहा है इसमें, ऑडियो नहीं चल रहा है इसमें। स्पीकर लगाएंगे, स्पीकर लगाएंगे। अभी नहीं चल क्या रहा है ये?
इसकी वॉल्यूम बढ़ी हुई है, वॉल्यूम देख कितनी बोले
मुझे खुद समझ में नहीं आ रहा है।
अभी तो स्पिन द व्हील है। टीम 7 है ना, टीम 7 जो भी है।
ठीक है, टीम 7 के क्वेश्चन होगा। चल के रहा है, बंदा कहाँ है?
साउंड नहीं चल रहा है क्या? साउंड को इसमें भी साउंड नहीं चल रहा।
इसमें क्यों नहीं साउंड चल रहा है? मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा। किसका लैपटॉप है?
इसमें नहीं चल रहा तो फिर लैपटॉप में गड़बड़ हो रहा है।
मेरी वॉच केबल भी नहीं लगाई है।
क्लिक करो उस बटन पे। हाँ,
ठीक है, राइट आंसर।
मार्क्स कौन नोट कर रहा है इनके?
ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। देखो रॉन्ग आंसर। ठीक है, दिस इज नेक्स्ट पार्टिसिपेंट स्पिन द व्हील नहीं कर रहे हैं क्योंकि बहुत दिक्कत हो रही है। ठीक है, टीम बंद करेंगे। ठीक है, रेडी? रॉन्ग आंसर। नेक्स्ट। ठीक है, थर्ड। Wrong answer. This is Team 2. Ready? Ready, boss? Correct answer. Next question. Correct. कार्ड्स यहाँ लिखते जाओ 7 1 2 3 रेडी बॉस
この想いを消してしまうにはまだ人生長いでしょうこの想いを消してしまうにはまだ人生長いでしょうやりの
No, wrong answer. ठीक ठीक हो गए ना कितनी हाँ तो गैस करना चाहिए फिर प्ले हो जाएगा ना ठीक है Any guesses? Dr. Stone. ठीक है नेक्स्ट टीम 4 ठीक रेडी बॉस रॉन्ग आंसर कोई गैस करना चाहेगा Avatar the last airbender ठीक है बॉस आपका wrong answer Naruto third हाँ करेक्ट आंसर टोक्यो गूल टीम 5 रेडी रॉन्ग आंसर कोई गैस करना चाहेगा नहीं जुजुत्सु काइसन रेडी करेक्ट आंसर वन पीस थर्ड क्वेश्चन wrong answer correct answer the 7 deadly sins next participant 6 ready next question टाइम हो गया कोई गैस करना चाहेगा आपका करना है थर्ड, हाँ थर्ड इनका थर्ड क्वेश्चन. कोई गैस करना चाहेगा इसको? Eighth team. Ready? Wrong answer. कोई गैस करना चाहेगा? Correct answer, Death Note. Last question. क्वेश्चन होगा 3 लोग टीम्स का अभी तक चलेगा गेम. What guild was Bora originally a part of? नो आंसर, ठीक है. एनी गेसेस? Titan Nose Guild. Next question for team 1. Simple. Identify the anime only. No. Wrong answer. Any guesses? Correct answer boss. नहीं नहीं, ठीक है. नौरगामी. ठीक है. Next participant. Boss. Ready? नहीं, जरूरत नहीं थी. Which two male characters were a part of Lucy's list of perfect boyfriends? Boss, it's Jalal and Lok. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. हाँ, इमेज है ना, दिक्कत ये कि चलाना पड़ेगा. इमेज है. वो साइड में दिख जाता है. यहाँ से करेंगे बॉस. यहाँ पे आके कर लेगा बस. आइडेंटिफाई द एनिमे. करेक्ट आंसर बॉस. नेक्स्ट पार्टिसिपेंट आ जाइए बॉस. करेक्ट आंसर. आइडेंटिफाई द एनिमे. टाइम्स अप. एनी गेसेस? कोई करना चाहेगा? कोई ऑडियंस में कोई करेगा ऐसे? ये चल ही नहीं रहा. चल जाए तो अच्छा है. बेचारा धंधा बच्चा. ठीक है. कोई ऑडियंस में से गैस करना चाहेगा? इट्स योर टर्न टू डाई. लास्ट ईयर बहुत लास्ट ईयर फेमस हुआ था ये. Team 3, Team 4. Team 4. Name this trainer who taught Tanjiro his water breathing technique. It's Sankoji Urokodaki. Wrong answer. ठीक है, करेक्ट है. Identify the anime. Correct answer. Team 5. Team 5.
Who is this Akatsuki's member? Akatsuki.
Time's up. Time's up. Any guesses? Correct.
Identify the anime.
Correct answer. The devil is a part-timer.
Team 5.
Team 6. 5, 6. Team 6 ready?
Name this character.
Full name. Full name. Any guesses? Full name. It's Leorio Paradinite. Next question.
Identify the anime.
Wrong answer. Soul eater.
Who is this magnet creating ninja?
Any guesses?
Any guesses? Identify the anime.
Correct answer.
Boros is the leader of what group?
No.
It's dark matter thieves. Identify the anime.
Correct answer. राउंड 3 के लिए हमारे पास टीम्स हैं टीम 2, टीम 4, टीम 5, टीम 7, टीम 8 एंड
Please give a big round of applause for these participants. Now we'll commence to round 3.
बस क्या रैंडम जो फाइनल राउंड है उसके मार्क्स बिल्कुल अलग रहेंगे, ये थर्ड राउंड तक कंटिन्यू रहेंगे ये मार्क्स अभी। ओके हाँ ठीक है, टीम स्टार्ट बस। एमसीक्यू बेस्ड होंगे, वही 10 सेकेंड है इसमें टाइम, 2 क्वेश्चन एक टीम से पूछे जाएंगे। ठीक है, एमसीक्यू बेस्ड है, 10 सेकेंड का टाइम है। Question 1. Out of the following, which character has never been a teacher at UA High School? Correct answer. Second question. Correct answer. Team 2. Team next team. The answer was Topo. Next question. Boss. The main character of My Hero Academia, Izuku Midoriya, possesses the quirk one for all. How many people have had this quirk before him? Wrong answer. Correct answer. Any guesses? Correct answer 8. Next question. Which series is set in the dark world of Victorian London? Options are Phantom Hive, Black Butler, Valkyria Chronicles, Blue Exorcist. Time's up. Any guesses? Correct answer is Black Butler. Ready? What quirk does Izuku's dad have? Options are fire breath, object art attraction, water vamp. Hardly. Correct answer is fire breath. Correct. Next question. What great weapon do Azula and the Fire Nation's soldiers use in an attempt to break through Ba Singh Se walls? क्या? No. Wrong answer. Any guesses? The answer is enormous drill. Who gave Naruto the 5-element seal? Correct answer. What name did Zenitsu give to his? Correct answer. Kuntaro. Ready, ma'am? What was Koro Sensei's real name? Akira Tadako, Ryushi Kuragane, Aguri Yukimaru. Time's up. Wrong answer. Any guesses? Ryushi Kuragane. Final question. Who hides the... Correct answer, Yumichika. हाँ नहीं ये टीम 2 थी ये हाँ टीम 2 थी देखो ये 2 4 5 7 8 तो ये 2 मिले हैं +2 टाई है इसको कैसे करें जो पहले आंसर कर देगा दो टीम से बोलो क्या वो है हमारे पास टाई है
There's a tie between 3 teams, so we'll be asking one. Whoever answers it more quickly will be qualifying to the next round, to the final round.
Team 2, Team 3, Team... sorry, Team 2, Team... Yes. Team 4 है ना वो क्या लिखा है? Team 4, 5 and 8. Team 4, 5 and 8. There's a tie between. Please come forward. Now question. Which element did Aang initially refuse to bend? किसने बोला पहले पहले? तो आप हैं अभी आप दोनों में भी है बिठाए अभी आप तो हैं आगे ठीक है अब आप दोनों में टाई है आगे Who is the rival school of Tokyo? किसने बोला नाम का आंसर है बोलो बोलो नहीं नहीं अब इसमें काउंटिंग नहीं करनी है ये जो है इनका मैं बता दे रहा हूँ, थोड़े से अलग हैं, नहीं है यार। हो जाएगा, जल्दी हो जाएगा, 3 मिनट का ही है। फाइनल राउंड, ये रैपिड फायर राउंड है, ठीक है। इसमें 60 सेकंड्स का टाइम है, मैक्सिमम 15 क्वेश्चंस एक टीम आंसर कर सकती है, या तो उनका 60 सेकंड्स खत्म हो जाए या 15 क्वेश्चंस खत्म हो जाए। ये यस एंड नो के आंसर्स हैं, इसमें नेगेटिव मार्किंग भी है, ओके। नहीं, 0.5 की नेगेटिव मार्किंग है, पॉजिटिव 1 मार्क है, और अगर आपको आंसर नहीं करना है तो पास बोल के नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे शिफ्ट करना है, ओके। रूल्स क्लियर है सबको? हम क्वेश्चंस नहीं पढ़ेंगे इसमें, जो जिससे कि टाइम वेस्ट ना हो, ठीक है। ठीक है, देखते रहना। 1 2 3 स्टार्ट। ये अटक गया बस। टाइम्स अप। नेक्स्ट पार्टिसिपेंट्स, ठीक है। Time's up. Next participant. थोड़ा लाउड बोलना, इधर सुनाई दीजिए। No. Start. ठीक है।
तो यहाँ आप ये सब क्विज में कर रहे हो तो बहुत तैयारियां की होंगी भाई इसके लिए, इसको याद रखना मेरे लिए तो बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट चीज।
तो मतलब आपका क्वेश्चन बेसिकली क्या
मतलब कि क्या है एनिमे, मतलब क्यों आपने इसमें क्विज किया, मैं बस थोड़ा सा समझना चाह रही हूँ
जैसे
कि एनिमे है क्या चीज़।
हम यहाँ जितने बैठे हैं लगभग काफ़ी सारे इसमें से ओटाकूज हैं,
मतलब
जो बेसिकली जैसे मतलब पढ़ रहे हैं तो किसी फैन बेस जो होती है
तो अगर निंजा होता है वैसे कुछ है मैं सोचे बच्चों के
दे बेसिकली लाइक वॉच एनिमेज, तो फिर धीमे धीमे एक उसकी आदत पड़ जा रही है कि मतलब
एनिमेज है क्या चीज़, मैं ये जानना।
एनिमे मैम एनिमेशन जो जापानीज़ और बेसिकली जापानीज़ एनिमेशंस जो थे तो वो नॉवेल बेस्ड मांगा बेस्ड रहते हैं। मांगा इज़ द रॉ वर्क, मतलब जो एनिमेशंस थे इनको हम पहले हाथ से ड्राइंग बनाते हैं तो वो मांगा रहते हैं, फिर उसके बाद उस पर एनिमेशंस बनते हैं। तो हम ये जापानीज़ एनिमेशन है वही है बेसिकली एनिमे, बट जो जैसे कार्टून्स होते हैं यूएस में जो हैं वो कार्टून्स हैं और ये एनिमे है एनिमे। एंड मैम बेसिकली ये जो होते हैं ये थोड़े मोटिवेटिंग टाइप होते हैं, मतलब मोटिवेटिंग फैक्टर्स काफ़ी सारे होते हैं इसमें। फॉर एग्जांपल नेवर गिव अप मैम, जैसे एक एनिमे है वन पंच मैन, सो उसमें एक कैरेक्टर है साइतामा, तो साइतामा प्रोटैगनिस्ट है, मतलब मेन कैरेक्टर साइतामा है। तो वो मतलब आफ्टर फेलियर उसने एक्सरसाइज चालू की और ये सब किया काफ़ी सारा, तो फिर बॉडी चेंज हो गई उसकी, फिजिक चेंज हो गया और वो हीरो बन गया। तो वो जर्नी और फिर मतलब उसकी
ये एनिमेशंस, ये जर्नी डिफरेंट कैरेक्टर्स की जर्नी।
यस मैम, और मैम ऐसे मतलब अलग अलग जॉनर्स हैं, अलग अलग मतलब डॉक्टर की लाइफ पे बेस्ड एनिमेज भी हैं, सब कुछ है। तो
तभी मुझे लगा कि मेडिकोस को इतना इंटरेस्ट किया, मतलब कि हर की लाइफ पर अलग अलग है ना।
यस मैम,
थैंक यू। क्या नाम है दूसरा बच्चा? तो
मैम विल बिगिन विद द थर्ड प्राइज।
थर्ड प्राइज, ओके।
Third prize goes to Utkarsh Pandey, boss, and Akshita ma'am.
समझे। एंड उनके पार्टनर थे अक्षिता विश्वनंदन। ओके ओके, क्रैश प्राइज है, चलो आज तो एंजॉय करेंगे। तो छीन के ले लूंगा।
Second prize goes to Saksham and Mukul.
सक्षम एंड मुकुल। आपका नाम डॉक्टर? ये लोग सेकंड विनर हैं।
And finally the first prize, any guesses? Again? थोड़ा और उससे। विश्वास अग्रवाल boss and Deepak boss. A big round of applause.
आप लोग किस बैच के हैं? दीपक।
Thank you, ma'am. And extremely sorry for keeping you waiting for so long and all the technical limitations. Thank you. We would also like to congratulate Rahul Gautam for conducting this quiz so successfully as event volunteer.
Please clap for Rahul.
Tomorrow will be starting at 9:30, and tomorrow's itinerary will include the fundamental game, that is a pre and paraclinical quiz, followed by what's your double delta, that is a clinical case presentation, 95% confidence, that is the clinical research presentation, and lastly the Shark Tank, the Georgian Shark Tank, which is our flagship event of the year. Thank you.